All right, good evening, everyone. It's just an open chat. I might take a look. I was going to take a look at some of the news, see what was on, see what's happening. Is there anything in your mind? I'm in an unhealthy relationship myself with Kamala Harris's witch tackle. Can't get that out of my mind. Could you imagine 4 years of that, of Kamala Harris and her endless, her useless conversations about nothing? Hi, G. Good to see you. Hi, Indy. Here's a link if you guys want to help. Right now we're listening to a parasite cleanse. No wonder I'm talking about the parasites, right? Oh, she's quite one. She is one of the best parasites out there. One of the biggest, anyway. If there's anything that you guys want to talk about, walk up or talk about it in chat and discuss it. But, yeah, 4 years of Kamala Harris. Could you imagine that cackle? Having to listen to that for 4 years. It'll drive anybody nuts. I think that might be their plan. Drive everyone into suicide by having to listen to her for 4 years. Make me want to kill myself. How you doing, Indy?
What's up, man? Hey, I was gonna tell you, your voice sounds kind of weird. Maybe are you using your mic? It sounds like you might be coming through like a laptop mic or something. It's not very clear.
Let me check.
Very bassy.
Says my audio is okay. Let me just.
Okay.
A couple of things off.
That's better. Whatever you just did, that's better.
Yeah, I just clicked the settings off and on, and it resets it for some reason.
Yeah, that's way better.
I have to do that all the time.
Yeah, imagine.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, you're talking about Harris, right?
Yeah.
Well, I heard today that she's planning for some of the people in her cabinet, she's planning on bringing basically Obama 2.0 again. It's going to be Eric Holder and Rahm Emanuel were two of the names I heard. So Eric Holder was the guy who was in charge of that Fast and Furious gun operation, yeah. And Rahm Emanuel, he is Israeli, or but he was the mayor of Chicago for a while.
Oh, yeah.
He was in Obama's cabinet, yeah.
Yeah, Chicago was good for a while there back in the 90s. And then it just went to crap. What was that? Giuliani straightened it up pretty good.
Well, that was New York, Giuliani.
Oh, yeah. You know, hold on one second. I forgot my drink over there.
Okay. Yeah, Harris is definitely the choice of the bankers, and that's definitely Obama all over again. Just like Biden. I just can't believe can't get away from this dude.
Hi, Ravenquest. Hi, Tony. Hi, Scotty. Hi, Loretta. What else we got? That's it so far. Cool. Yeah, it does seem like we're just having a continuation of Obama.
It is.
Constantly, But is he, he himself, is he even original? Isn't he like a Bush?
Cheney? Yeah, he's a Bush, but he was a Democrat, right? And so when Trump was in his 4 years from 16 to 20, he had all of George Bush Jr.'s cabinet people, all his war hawks, all his big oil. So we still under Bush Obama.
Yeah.
All of 2000s.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because apparently, Hillary was Secretary of State under Obama, but that was almost like a concession of sorts because they actually ran against each other and she dogged out Obama and shit.
Yeah.
So, but it's funny to me because there's definite Bill and Hillary Clinton connections with the former Bush, the father Bush. So, but it seems funny to me how Obama and Hillary, it does seem to be that they don't really click with each other.
Yeah. Hi,
because
Jimmy.
Hillary, the Clintons, Bill and Hillary, have always been buddy good pals with Trump. So it's very incestuous and odd.
Yeah, and I don't quite get how the cabinet's working, like the appointments and that, like which sides they are, because it's American. So I don't really follow it, but it doesn't seem like that changes, right? You know, like these, like you're saying, these war hogs and people, they always stay in the positions to cause the trouble, right?
Yeah, because there's this one guy. I don't know if he's head of FBI. I think he's like the guy that was appointed head of FBI. Ray, W-R-A-Y.
Yeah.
But he was just in front of Congress over the Trump thing, answering questions about that. The Trump, like they were grilling him, and he's been made out to be like maybe in on the deep state plan here, but he's left over. Trump appointed him when he was president. So it's just the same shit, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one big fucking club. I think they don't take it any more serious than we take a Monopoly game. Except that, you know, the baubles and the bank money they're playing for is for real. You know, but what do they need, really? They've already milked us for millions. Like, they've got millions in the bank. What do you need? You know? So now you're just playing for baubles for fun, right? You know?
Yeah, unless they're being, you know, I think they're all just placeholders. And I was thinking today, it just seems like, well, just like they always say, the Biden time. It's like they're just kind of keeping us focused every 4 years while they got these other plans in the background.
Yeah.
You know, like these world economic plans and shit.
Yeah. I still tell you that the biggest fear, well, the biggest danger I think we face is the communication systems that they're setting up.
I'm on board with that because
even Trump signed 5G into existence.
Yeah.
You know, communications always start out as military.
Yeah.
Everything. Every communication system ever always started out as military.
Yeah, and I would argue media. You know, you look at the history of TV, that's all a BBC creation originally.
Yeah, was it originally created as mind control? You know?
I think it was.
Created for entertainment, but really, if it had like no purpose other than to entertain us, would they have even brought it out, you know? Hi, Trey.
Yeah, because if you listen to old interviews with that Edward Bernays and you follow him back, it definitely seems like the plan all along. It was controlling the mass consciousness there. That's what it's done.
Yeah, see, they gave it away for free too, right?
Yeah, to us.
Not the TVs, but the signals and all that.
Yeah.
They didn't charge you for that. It was all open air, you know?
Yeah, even radio, even the radio originally, radio broadcasts. And for a time there, it was kind of, there was a range of, you know, it wasn't all as controlled as it is now.
Yeah, there was decentralization back then of independent companies and independent broadcasters. Around the 80s, they all started consolidating and buying up all the little broadcasters and stuff.
Yeah, and it was definitely completely out the way '96 with that Telecommunications Act, where we had like 90 something media companies, and now we're down to 6, and they just they phased out AM radio and now FM radio. It's all under that Sinclair Media Group, which that's the one that got pegged. You know that video that they were showing for a while where they showed like a bunch of local news broadcasts, but they were all saying the same thing, like the spread of disinformation online, it's a threat to our democracy. It's a threat to our democracy. That's all Sinclair. One media group.
Yeah, those are hilarious. But yeah, that's one of the most eye-opening things ever, really.
Yeah.
Those repeats of the news, that's hilarious. Always makes my mind just kind of tickle with the light. It's like, oh my God, you guys, you're so contrived, you know?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I know, like the local TV media here, in Baton Rouge. I've heard stories from people who are, related to or friends with people who work mostly like the TV anchors and this and that, because they're kind of local celebrities in their area, right? They get to all the football games, and they all seem to be alcoholics.
Huh.
So they're not upstanding citizens, and they're all kind of, I guess, struggling with their choice of chosen profession there. Because all they're doing is reading scripts. Yeah.
I guess being around sports a lot, a lot of people do a lot of drinking around that.
Yeah. So they were known to be in bars, just regular bar rooms, and pissed drunk and crazy.
Oh yeah, Smokey, the bear with a badge. Only you can prevent forest fires.
Yeah, right. Not anymore.
It is pretty true, right? We have to get all those people, all those little firebugs out here. It's arson season in Canada, so
yeah.
They're having wildfires out west now. They've got the eastern part of Canada, eastern central part of Canada last year. So now they're hitting the west coast this year.
Well, honestly, that's been happening almost every year now on the west coast. The past few years, I got a friend of mine that lives in Idaho, but he was actually working with this company that helps with the refueling of helicopters that are involved in fighting the fires.
Yeah.
And he goes out there a few months every year to work. It's just every year. He talked to me earlier. 2 weeks ago, he was waiting on a call back from that company.
Oh, that happens when trees aren't painted blue. If they're not painted blue, they'll burst from the inside out sometimes. It's a weird natural phenomenon.
Another thing I noticed, I've been kind of keeping an eye on the UK stuff. I've been watching this guy that's videotaping like the protest. But in the past 3 or 4 days, as he's been walking away from protests, there have been like house or apartment fires that he's stumbled upon. And they've had 2 of them in the past 2-3 days. And it seems to be happening a lot all of a sudden over there.
Are the trees burning outside the building or just the building?
Well, this is actually in the city, so there's not many trees. So
okay.
Yeah. But Taylor Swift, she was at Wembley Stadium a couple nights back, and they had a fire during that. But where she comes into play was that the last time she was in London was when they had that bombing thing at her show. It was kind of a sketchy.
Yeah, she had to cancel a bunch of shows due to bomb threats or something.
Yeah, they actually had a scare. The sounds that went off, but it seemed to be a staged event. It all fit with the numerology and all kind of stuff. So.
Came in, yeah. Taylor Swift, high on our radar, definitely. Woo Riders.
Yeah.
I can't live my life without getting the updates on Taylor. Hi, Chloe. She is actually becoming kind of a gauge of the New World Order,
Yeah, she's a weapon that they got in their back pocket. They ain't played that yet. They set her up with the football player, and he was heavily involved in. He was a big Pfizer. He took a lot of Pfizer money and was promoting the thing.
Yep.
And they expected her to be promoting Biden, but I haven't heard anything as far as the political side of that.
Yeah.
They ain't played that card yet.
Yeah, I don't. She's not really like. We know that most of her stuff's probably written by the CIA. She's
Believing the story of how she became famous was her dad is involved in their industry, and I think he actually ended up having to, I don't know, paid some money or did a favor.
Yeah, she's like the Marilyn story. Like they took although Marilyn was actually a lot smarter than they gave her credit for. Maybe Taylor Swift is as well, but they basically took an average looking average person and pumped them into a huge icon,
Yeah.
Because even like Marilyn is probably the same as Taylor Swift. She's rather plain and ordinary looking, really. But when they do all her, glamour up and all that, put her face on every poster and augment it, digitally, she becomes an icon.
Yeah, she's like in her mid-30s, and definitely just appeals. I mean, she appeals to 30 and 40-year-old moms, soccer moms too. But
yeah, she's got the teenage girl crowd.
Oh yeah, definitely. She's a teen idol, but she's not a teen. She's nowhere close to being a teen.
No, not even close. Yeah, unacceptable. Yeah, she's totally a plant, I think, in my mind.
I'll tell you.
She told us to back Biden.
Yeah. No thanks. I was watching some stuff today. It kind of randomly popped up. But are you familiar with Geraldo Rivera?
I am.
Okay, he had talk shows in the 90s. You remember all that? The Oprah Show and
I do.
Okay, I used to watch those as a kid, and when I was watching it back in the day, I remembered he had a show where he brought on this group they called Club Kids, I guess.
Uh-huh.
And they're kind of like they were famous for being at all the kind of the not necessarily raves, but kind of gay club nightlife, the scene kids. It's an organized group, and they all wore like funny costumes, and they're all promoting gay. There's a lot of trans. Well, I watched the Geraldo thing today. I was just kind of revisiting it from 1994.
Yeah.
And it was amazing how much stuff I was able to pick out of that. I noticed that, the panda eyes thing.
Yeah.
There was a lot of panda eyes symbolism with all those kids. They were making hot dog and pizza references. And some of them were young. They had a 15-year-old trans.
Yeah.
Who this is a male to female trans who Geraldo also interviewed, has a 19-year-old lesbian butch girlfriend at the time who was 5 months pregnant.
Okie dokie.
Now that's a 15-year-old and a 19-year-old openly talking about
Yeah.
on Geraldo's show. So I got to thinking, man, with all that being centered around New York. Oh, another thing I noticed, some of the characters of these club kids, the way they were dressed and the style of all of it, I've seen the exact same costume and looks
Mm-hmm.
around that James Alefantis guy. The ping pong pizza, the Pizzagate thing.
Oh, okay.
Like he used to have these after hours private parties at the pizza shop, because I've seen some of them. There's some groups. One of them is called Sex Stains, but they look and dress just like these club kids. So I got to thinking, man, I think these club kids, they might be left over. One of them had the last name St. James, which that's Epstein Island was known as Little St. James. So I think some of these kids are from that. I think there's some smoke there, bro, because it was
sounds like it.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, 94. That's a long way back.
Yeah, dude. I was 18 at that point.
Yeah.
And if you look at the crowd, like the Geraldo show crowd that was there, that's the thing I trip out when I watch these old shows, is what the regular people in the crowd look like. And they look like the people around here, just regular folk, probably go to church on Sunday, just straight lace up and down regular people. And looking at that Geraldo show, it was like, this smells to me like, what would you call that? Like cultural programming, or, like it was definitely interjecting a lot of debaucherous influence socially to the masses. Because, when I was growing up, I had never seen nothing like that. Like, that was way out the box. Yeah.
No, my wife remembers one time when she was young, around 10, bumping into a transvestite. She ran home and told her mom, like when I was a kid, sodomy was illegal.
It's still on the books illegal here in Louisiana.
So totally, like we were talking about this today, it takes a long time to do a cultural shift, but it really doesn't take that long. In my lifetime, it's gone from sodomy being illegal to sodomy being almost a requirement.
Yeah,
one article I read was, if you haven't sucked a dick, you might be a homophobe. Come on, we've just totally 360'd,
Yeah, that was all definitely purposely introduced, because I remember even Andrew Tate, he might have been joking when he said it, but he definitely came right out and said some shit like if you want to date a trans, you're not securing your manhood and shit. Like,
what?
Yeah.
Okay.
They definitely pushed that idea hard. It kind of came and went almost as quickly as you remember, bro? Like, it might have been a year or two ago where they floated the idea about amnesty.
Oh yeah.
And you remember how quickly that came and went?
Yeah. I did a show about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because everybody said hell no, and they shut up with that.
Hell no! You wanted us dead in the streets, motherfucker.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, right. And would they have even come clean? No, you wouldn't have. No. So, no. Yeah, that's right, Scotty boy. I see hot dogs, but why pizza? Pizza's little girls, Jimmy. Hot dogs is little boys, pizza's little girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, there might not be enough people being charged for that in Hollywood right now, but maybe P. Diddy will open people's eyes to it more. I don't know.
Well, you know, it's come out recently that that movie that was out, that Mel Gibson was a part of, The Sound of Freedom, is all about exposing the child thing.
Yep.
It's now come out that people are saying that the guy who directed that movie, or the guy who's the guy who came up with the idea and was behind it, like next to Mel, that he was staging the fact that people were actually being arrested for these underground. He was paying people to basically stand in and claim these things, but they were not actually, like, he was staging the whole thing.
Like crisis actors.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. These are just crime actors.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Because they said there's not one person has been arrested at all in connection with any of the things he was supposedly actively exposing and investigating.
Raven says that was propaganda to try to take the channel down? Possibly. But if they haven't got anybody charged for anything, it's unfortunate. But if it was all staged, I don't know. Hi, Paula, how are you doing?
I'm okay. Tired, but okay. But yeah, I this world has got me so fucked up. I don't even know what's fucking real anymore, because there's so much shit that's a psyop or staged or paid actors. It's just ridiculous. It's like they're only doing it. I personally, this is the one thing I do think. Everything's a psyop, and they're trying to drive us insane. They're trying to just make us kill each other, and yeah.
Yeah, the only thing that's really real are the relationships we have with each other. Everything else is entirely a psyop. And once you accept that, you know, it's not that hard. I don't find it. You know?
Yeah.
I know that the relationships I have with people like you, my wife and friends, that's real, you know?
That's real. Thank goodness for that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, everything else, we're being lied to on a grand scale.
Yeah, I'm pretty much there where everything's a lie until proven otherwise, for sure, because that seems to be the modus operandi with that.
Yeah, I get some fun exercise when I come home, because my wife likes to watch the news and tell me what's going on, and she's now come to the point where she goes, I've learned what they've told me on the news. Now I'm coming to you to see what the different perspective on that is, you know? You know, because she knows that there's an alternative perspective, right? Like yesterday she came to me with Russia. You know, and a few days before that it was George Floyd. You know, what they're telling you on the news and what real life is totally different. Totally. Or at least there's a completely different perspective on it. You know? Yeah, Max the fact check.
Yeah, because that George Floyd event, Kamala's VP guy, that Tim Walz, he was the governor of Minnesota when all that was going down, and there was a lot of practice for violating people's rights going on there. They had a video I watched where these cops were almost like sweeping a neighborhood, basically a subdivision, and there were women sitting out on their front porch, and the cops yelled at them to get inside, and they were just like, what's going on? They shot them with paintball guns. They shot them with paintball guns, ran them back inside.
Holy shit.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
They did the same thing with the Boston bombing, too. They were sweeping neighborhoods and forcing people to go inside, and it's all training, bro.
Yeah.
That's interesting. You could walk around your neighborhood with a wrist rocket and ping, ping, and just get people inside with some rocks. Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Yeah, in Australia, they were running around with truckloads of pepper spray, you know, telling people to stay in their houses. And then when you open your door to look out and see what's going on, they shoot you with pepper spray.
My
They went
God,
down. Yeah,
that's insane.
yeah.
Well, they were tackling old ladies and shit in Australia for
Oh
sitting
yeah,
on a park bench.
they went hard. Kids and the kids
Motherfuckers
on
ought to
the
be.
beach. Anyone. They went after the people in the outback hard at the beginning too. Rounded them all up.
Ugh.
I'm at the point I'm ready to tell. I'm telling them types of men, shame on your mama and daddy if they raised you to be a thug like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
some did, but some didn't.
yeah.
A lot of them are brainwashed by media or their bosses or whoever.
Once they realize they're following illegal orders, though, if they can finally come to that realization, like the Canadian police didn't go along with stop and search people. So,
That's good.
yeah. So we'll see what happens. We know that they're not done trying, but we're still no closer to getting rid of them. Unfortunately, they're still
Hmm.
playing games, left-right games, saying family lines and all that. You have to route that out.
I know that's.
Yeah.
And also, too, I think in the police departments, Western countries, it's 1 in 4 has at least a good case of narcissism.
oh
to,
yeah,
to much
Yeah.
worse.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
they're attracted to this, military, police, voila.
well, I can say this: my 2 neighboring parishes, or other people will call them counties, for over 20 years, there's been child touching and child trafficking stuff going on with the highest levels. The sheriffs of both departments, and I'm talking the full 9. I'm not talking about just a one-time event. Like, this is years of abuse.
Yeah.
Creating the actual videos and uploading them, the whole thing, bro.
Yeah.
And these are people that get on TV and they call themselves good Christian family men, and they got the whole community fooled. They all old families. I know that shit's big in Utah too, places like Utah, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of that.
Yeah, there are the stories of children trying to escape from, abuse. And they run to the police, and the police just take them back because they're in on it.
Yeah,
Yep.
they're
Yeah.
runaways. Yeah.
Yep, I've seen
Hi,
that all over.
Michigander.
I've seen that kind of thing all over TikTok where they're all grown up now and they're making their videos talking about they kept trying to escape and the cops would always take them back.
Yeah.
It didn't do any good. Sad.
Yeah, there's a big thing going on now with adoption agencies. There's one of them that's called Bethany Christian Services, and they have a lot of allegations like that against them, people that have been adopted out to families where they got abused, and
Yeah.
it's an organized ring, and they work directly with like the area CPS, Child Protection Services.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the alphabets are not working for us.
Right.
Yeah, that's why these systems need to be taken down and redone, restructured and restarted.
Looked at differently too with how they
Yeah.
deal with things, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just an open door for them to, and there's just a lot of corruption. People want money or power or something.
Or both.
Yeah, they should have a limited lifespan too, like agencies and government, run systems should have a lifespan of like 10, 20 years.
Mhm.
And then you just tear it all apart. Everybody goes and, sorry, your contract's for this amount of time, and that's it. And then it's restructured and remade. They're looking at passing on education to the states, and they should do it. That's one of the things that should happen. Is the states and counties really should be responsible for what education is being taught, because that's where the parents can interact with the people making the policies.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
No, you're absolutely right. It's top-heavy crap.
Yeah.
Simply.
Yeah. Really, the states should be a bunch of independent countries. You know, same thing should be in Canada. Everywhere, really. You know, the people that are in that area should make up how the area is run, what is taught to their kids, what infrastructure they think is important. You know, that should be up to the people there. It is. It's all top down now.
Yep. Yeah, you shouldn't just set something in place and then just leave it there, whether it becomes corrupt or not, or whether it was corrupt from the beginning or not. It should. Well, we're going to test this little theory and see if it works. We're going to take notes, and we're going to adjust as needed.
Yeah. What was good, we'll keep, and what was crap, we'll get rid of. You know?
That's right. That's how it should be done, right?
Yeah. These days, we're just piling crap on top of more crap.
Yeah.
The bureaucracy isn't doing what it should. They make another bureaucracy and pile more bureaucrats on top, you know?
It's cray-cray. Oh, man.
If the foundation is faulty, the building won't stand.
Yep. Our biggest expense in Canada right now is consulting fees. That's what our government is spending all our money on.
Yeah.
That's convenient.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't mean to really sideswipe the conversation.
It's open chat.
Okay, it's very trivial, but I just wanted to say, Greg Kihn passed away. He's a musician from the 80s. He did this song. His famous song was the band just broke up an hour ago.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Anyway, It was, like I said, very trivial. Sorry, I guess I needed to sing with a sore throat.
Just had to get it out there.
I guess, the torture was just torturous. Okay.
Yeah, we should all sing more. Sing more to yourself. That's when you're walking around, sing or hum to yourself.
We do here. It's a very musical house.
That's good. It's very healing. Breakup song.
Yeah, that's it. The breakup song.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of the name of it. I can sing it, the first line.
Yeah. I do know that song.
We did a good job at.
Yeah, how did he pass?
It did not say in his obituary.
Okay.
Of course.
But he was 70? Again, I think 72 or something like that. A little older, but not much.
A little, yeah, not that old though.
No.
No.
Yeah, they're all passing. This generation's passing in its early mid 70s, it seems.
Yeah, well, when you drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Take all that acid in the 60s. Voila.
Yeah.
They just had a 39-year-old. I don't think he was his name was Beat King. I think he was either a rapper or a guy who made beats out of Houston, which is a very dark place for the rap industry. And it came out that he died from pulmonary embolism, which is blood clots.
Yeah.
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 Oh, yeah. The young are being hit with blood clots, lungs. I have a friend of mine. She's 4 years younger than me. And very athletic. She hikes and all, avid, whatever. Blood
we have
clots
no
in
idea
the
why
lung.
that happens.
Yeah.
We have no idea why that happens. Anyway. Yeah, that's all the people getting cancer too. It's a mystery, isn't it? What a mystery. commercial saying that China is planning to take down our power grid. Sells itself. Yeah. Oh, no, to sell products. Okay. Well, yeah, we get a lot of our components for our grid from China. Yeah, here's a niche I thought you had. Yeah, they're promising us all kinds of problems, cyber attacks, that's what Klaus said. So we can expect it, And of course, the stupidity of wanting us onto a digital dollar, but then they're telling us there's going to be cyber crimes everywhere. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Don't get it. Yeah, a lot of musicians are popping off recently.
I saw another one on TikTok, but I can't remember what band he was from. It wasn't one that I was really enthralled with back in the day, but he was only like, 56, something like my age.
Yeah.
And of course, they didn't say why he died, so
it's a mystery.
Funny how they won't do that now.
I want to say Whitesnake, but I don't think that's right.
Oh man!
But it's a group that's kind of like that. But you could just Google like singers that have died recently, and you could probably find it.
Well, Whitesnake, that was David Coverdale. That doesn't ring a bell, does it?
No, I don't think that was the name.
Okay.
I didn't like it or save it or anything, so I can't go hunt it down.
Hi, Richard.
Well, they got a video I posted off of BitChute probably about a week or so ago, where somebody was documenting all the DJs from around the world dying, and which I had never heard of any of. Well, I'd never heard of any from that industry really passing away, but there was a lot of names, and boy, the sicknesses that they had, like.
And yet Howard Stern keeps living.
Yeah. Well, these are like club DJs, and why it's relevant is because definitely when the B was out, they were definitely pushing hard to require people that wanted to come to the shows that they had to have tests and shit. Yeah. But there was some big names in there, people from the 90s. I remember like fucking the brain thing, the blastoma, and weird spinal cord stuff. Man, just awful. And they went quick too. Like
mystery.
Yeah.
Yeah, Howard Stern, I don't know. He's been around. He had the Hawktua girl on. Apparently, she's 97% Jewish.
Yeah. Howard Stern's I hate that mom.
Garbage, hot garbage. That's what Howard Stern is.
Well, that's what he does. Trash radio, right?
And my mom loved him. Ew. But she was evil, so.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, he's definitely an acquired taste, I'd say.
Ugh. Yeah, if you're a twisted fuck. Ugh.
Yeah, he's not even that interesting as a person. Like the only interesting parts about his show was like Artie Lang and like the other people he would have on there. He did have some good interviews with people, Norm Macdonald and that sort of thing. But as far as he himself being an interesting or funny, no. He's way overrated.
Yeah, way overrated. But if you're a piece of hot garbage, you can be way overrated. But if you're not a piece of hot garbage, well, we're going to shut you down.
Yeah, it depends on what you're promoting, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're in an age where Hawktua sells.
Yeah.
Yep, pretty much.
It's ridiculous.
And you know what? I was thinking about that because I heard about this Hawktua thing, but I had no idea what it
Yeah.
was about. I didn't watch her video, but I was just catching like the residuals. I heard that some dude, some country singer brought her on stage, and I was seeing people on my Facebook post it. And I got to thinking about that. If you're a kid right now, let's just say you're like 9, 10, 11 years old, and you hear your parents making jokes or thinking it's funny and this Hawk Tuah shit, these kids might not know what that means right now, but when they get old enough and they look back, that has an effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good point. Yeah.
Well, everything
Generational.
has an effect, cause and
Mhm.
effect. I mean,
Ripples.
the ripple effect, even. Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I got to spit on a dick. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. That's what mom and dad were doing. And, there's just no boundaries anymore with anything.
Well, and also how quickly this woman went, like you said, out into the media, people interviewing her now and everything. It seems set up a bit, but what do I know?
Right.
She went from 0 to 60 pretty quick.
And like somebody mentioned, why interview her? Is she interesting all of a sudden? Does she have interesting things to say about a wide range of topics because she's made, I guess a video or something?
Howard did say welcome to the club to her. So
yeah.
Oh, really?
I think she has a told career in entertainment somewhere. Guaranteed. She was found to be of the right clan, so she will be forwarded.
There you go. That's a great way of putting it. Yes.
Hey,
Yes,
Kiss tried
Scotty,
to
a
tell us-
plant.
Kiss tried to tell us back in the day when they made the album Psycho Circus. Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the ridiculous way they dressed. I mean, seriously.
Oh my God.
They were telling
Mea
us.
culpa. I dressed so 80s in the 80s. You would laugh at my photos. You would.
Did you have football shoulders? Did you have the big shoulder pads and everything?
I did. I kind of wore the big shoulder pad stuff, and I had, that really spiky. What's that group? The Thompson
New Wave
twins.
hairdo. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Do you remember them? The Thompson. I wanted that
Yeah.
hair, and I got it.
Nice.
Oh, I was bad fashion faux pas.
Yeah, that took a lot of hair product to get that.
Yeah. Hey, Trey, I'm waiting for bell bottoms to come back in again because I think
Bell bottoms are bad.
They kind of are, but those little skinny leg jeans or stuff. That's what most people. But anyway, I think they're becoming on women. They give women more of a chance if they're a little voluptuous here and there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've got some bell bottoms. It's those stretchy legging types, but I've got them.
Yeah, I have decades. Dressing decades of stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, anyway.
Shit, I still literally wear clothes from the 90s still. Some of the same shit I was wearing in the 90s. So.
There's the link, Michigander. I thought you were coming up.
Yeah, I'll say the only thing from my childhood days or school days that really had like a mass effect on like the rest of my classmates and stuff was the New Kids on the Block. When that came out, everybody kind of caught on to that, and it was definitely like tight rolling the jeans and the hairstyles and that whole thing.
Yeah.
But, if you go back and listen to that music as a boy band, their songs still kind of hold up as they're good songs. You know what I mean? There was a quality still there about it, as opposed to like the boy bands now, like these the K-pop and shit that's out now. It's just garbage.
It's because the voices are in perfect pitch. They're effects. There's effects on those voices. And just something really died, I think, too. I think my prediction, this is just my humble thoughts, is that in the near future, we'll probably go back to local music, more local. Like, you'll know the guy that tours the 3 towns in your area and plays down at these clubs, and not so much of the Taylor Swift's, the mega stars. I think it's a dying thing, because I'm watching YouTube and there's some darn good musicians and singers and everything going on.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to go through a phase of being inundated by AI music.
Yeah, that's the new thing.
I think that's going to take over for a while.
Yeah,
and then subside.
You type your words in, and this program will help you write a song.
Oh, it does, and does it well.
And it does it well, and some of them have options. You can, tweak the vocals. Your female or male vocals, and all of that. Yeah. Yep. Slow it down, tempo. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, you could do like some girl band in the voice of Willie Nelson or Johnny Cash or
Ooh, mashups. I like mashups.
Well, they've already popped up with some copyright issues with that. They got a guy that's I think he was using Kanye West or one of those type rappers. He was making songs in their style and their voice cloned and everything, and ended up it's in court and shit right now. So they're still trying to figure out. I think copyright laws are going to have to be overhauled anyway.
Yeah.
I think that will be something that's going to pop up. But you mentioned the live music scene, right? Here in Louisiana, especially the last 10 years, 15 years at this point, after Katrina, it really started happening where big tours were not coming to Louisiana, mostly because they didn't really have the support to warrant even stopping here. They would just skip over. So now it's at the point where there's hardly any big name groups that come through here, unless it's Garth Brooks or something, right? And then after 2020, all the little venues, we had an okay local small time, underground scene of live music, but it definitely took a big hit after 2020. There was nowhere to play. Nobody was really going out. But in the past year, at least, I got a friend of mine that plays guitar, and he's been getting gigs. He's been playing gigs every week again. And so it is, like you said, it is coming back locally, at least around here. That's what's happening.
Yeah, I saw War at a couple weeks ago in my town. So at a Festival of Friends, they called it. Yeah. I can't believe War was still playing.
Hey, there was a mention to look at the moon, so I looked up the moon again because Nina brought it up the other night.
Yeah.
This August full moon is more than just your average moon. That's because this one is nicknamed the Sturgeon Moon and will be double as a rare blue moon. It's a blue moon and a super moon when it rises, August 19th. That's 2 days from now. So that's pretty trippy. Sturgeon moon, blue moon, super moon.
A blue sturgeon moon, eh?
There you go. Sounds like
a double blue sturgeon moon, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never heard of sturgeon moon before.
No, ever. Me neither.
That's because
it's a fish.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's because this is the nickname they've picked because there is no second. Anyway.
Okay.
It's just, hey, they try to confuse us.
Yep.
We kind of have to read between the sturgeon lines.
Yeah. And every time these moon things happen, they always present it almost as if this has never happened before type. Everything's always a new event. Oh my God, this is when really these things happen yearly a lot of times, like wolf moons, harvest moon.
Yeah.
They make a big deal out of it.
Yeah, the new thing is heat domes. Like I wanted, I figured they go from polar vortexes because those are new to heat vortexes. They went to heat domes. I don't know, kind of confusing. I thought we'd have heat vortexes. I think that'd be better.
Well, a vortex spins, right?
Yeah.
Well, the heat dome might have something to do with the fact that they're artificially creating them. They're making.
Oh, they are. They are. Yeah. They've been radiating people at night. That's what they do. That burns up all the moisture that is usually fallen and lands as dew, so you don't get dew. And then there's no moisture in the air, so it cooks up better. At least that's the theory.
Yeah, that's the shit that's really pissing me off. Subconsciously is the thought of that shit.
Yeah, it's constant too, right? I know it on a constant basis because I feel the effects constantly, right? Whether they're acute or mild, I still know. Even when I travel from one area to another, I feel the difference in what I'm doing.
Yeah, I know when we have these rainstorm events popping up.
Yeah,
some very subtle but noticeable energy changes happen within the whole air, and even my dogs notice. And sometimes I'll hear that ringing. Sometimes I hear like a ringing in my ear, and then the rain starts and that kind of shit.
Morgan. Hi, Morgan.
Hey.
Yeah, I get that sharp ringing. I hate that.
A lot of times that'll be because the moisture will go up. So before I hit right on the barometric pressure changes when you get like a storm. So when it's going to rain, and it'll actually the pressure in your sinuses and whatnot. It'll actually clear it'll actually change a change in pressure. So you get that ear thing happening, like the ringing in the ear, the tinnitus in the ear. I'm not sure whether that's blood draining from the ear or or water lowering from
pressure would probably push it up to the ear.
Yeah, when it goes up and down like that. But I know it's what it's got to be. The ringing and stuff like that. It's well, there's an answer to it. I forgot what it is in the moment, but I think it has something to do with the blood, right? In your head. And the pressure. Yeah. Anyway, that's what I mean, because it storms and it has to do with pressure.
They can electrically change. They change the air pressure electrically too.
Yes, exactly. They can do it with the harp. They can do it with the whatever. I think they can shoot at the things in the cloud. They can do it with the flyover stuff. I think they've got it mapped. You know what I mean? They've got manipulation and.
Yeah, that's how they steer things. They can steer storms and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's the only thing that I'm holding on to, right now with hope, is that there has to be that factor that they can't do, not a wild card even, but I mean where they know that no matter how locked in they try to get their systems, I can understand how they would always probably try and lock it in that final peg, in a proverbial train track or whatever, when they're laying that track and they want to get that last peg in, but it won't go because of love and magic. And
5G is not their grid is not complete yet.
Yes,
they still haven't been able to directly log in wirelessly and change your mind. They can augment it a bit. They can influence you, but they can't just rewrite your thoughts at the moment, which is we still have time.
Yeah, personal choice still seems to exist.
Yeah.
And as long as, and I believe that's your soul. So as long as autonomy of the soul is not compromised, I believe we'll go on, undefiled as far as people go. I don't understand all this changing of DNA and stuff like that in the blood, and I understand how it can work. like as far as changing physical things in the body.
Yeah.
But I don't know how. I don't know how that changes anything spiritually. I understand they want it to. You know what I mean? Like, this means this. It's okay, buddy. It wouldn't really that's how things stick on your soul. If someone else goes blah 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 blah, like Charlie Brown's teachers when they talk, that's not having an effect on your soul. You know, like, that's not having an effect on your soul.
Well, I did hear. This is a wild theory when I heard it, and I'm not qualified to confirm or deny anything about it, but somebody was suggesting the fact that in our DNA, which is made up of four points, 4 different units or whatever, but
Yes.
they say that the units, the letters, actually correspond to the name of God in the
Right.
Hebrew or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, yeah.
God, hey,
Well-
Bod, hey, yes, Yod, hey, Bod, hey, thank you.
Somebody was explaining that, I don't know, maybe with these shots or whatever, what they're trying to do is replace that with 6s, basically, to sum it all up. And that
Yeah, I
could
know
be
what
a
you're
mark
talking
of
about.
beast. Yeah.
I've seen that.
Yeah, there has been an attack on the pineal for generations.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of their key goals, is to make an automaton, basically a psychopathic, disconnected brainiac is what their dream
Yeah.
is.
Huh?
Yes.
That's great
Yeah.
that you said it like that, Max. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And I think this is why I always harp on the heart so much. I think that's a big component here that's missing from a lot of these people, especially if you look at these Silicon Valley types, right? They are intelligent. They do know a lot. They're very bold, but they don't seem to be connected to their heart, compassion, all that kind of shit at
Like
all.
my husband. Right. Exactly.
I think
I
there's
see it
something
every
to
day.
that.
I heard, and I don't know if it's true, but we could probably Google it to find out. Depending on what you have had to tolerate throughout your life can depend on what your blood type is. Your blood type can change according to what you've been through. So they told me my blood type was A positive back in the day when I had my child. But when I bought a blood test kit and did it myself, exactly the way they said to do it, it said I'm A positive now. So it could be
I
possible.
could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Can't a lover change your pH, or can it change your? I think depending on what lover you take, that could change your blood definitely by a point or whatever that is, like by a plus to a negative. Like I'm A negative. No, now you're an A positive. How'd that happen? That last lover you had. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it changes something. I don't know if you can change from plus to minus, but your blood type can change from A to B to whatever.
Just because everything in this Bible, it aligns with something spiritual. When they say in the two bodies combine into one, right? It would totally make sense that it's like, oh yeah, in that your blood gets mixed and you actually exchange. You know what I mean? Like a thing, right?
Exchanging bodily fluids has to change something.
That is it. Yeah.
Usually you'll have the same blood type all your life. In rare cases, however, blood types can change. The change usually relates to unique circumstances, such as having a bone marrow transplant or getting certain types of leukemia or infections. Not all of these changes in blood type are permanent.
Wild. You were totally right, sister.
Yep.
And I will
But
say,
there
I think
are
we've all
other reasons that it can change that they didn't have there. But yes.
have we all seen like old couples, like really old people who've been married for decades, right? How they kind of start looking like each other.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I think there's something to all that too.
You'll take on traits of your partner that you like, or you know what I mean, just by emulation, even.
Yep.
Of the way you hold your knife, the way we dance till 3. Okay, I love that. Wild. I feel nostalgic for the old stuff now, man. like, you know, like just that, even that song, you know.
Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of 70s and 80s rock and stuff.
Yeah.
They've been playing it here, like just deliberately, you know, going, forget, we're just going to go ahead and do it. It's 1980 again, folks. Early 80, you know, when a factory town or whatever, you know what I mean?
Back to the golden age.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, might as well play the music when the people are happy.
I stay in there, bro. I never listen to anything new. I'm completely stuck in those.
Very few new songs that I like.
Yeah.
I do love 81 Million Votes My Ass, though. I do love that song.
Oh, yeah, that's that new rapper kid, right?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, he's putting out a lot of information in his rap songs.
I have a different take on the Hawktua girl than I think the other people, because I like, okay, when I saw her, right, I just thought like, okay, she told the truth because she had a bit of a buzz on, you know, and she seemed a bit more mature than 21. But 21, sometimes that's it. That's who you are. Like sometimes 21 is right on. Like just mean you are who you are, and like almost as like it. Anyway, she seemed authentic, and she was cute, but in a way that was like, but she couldn't be messed with either. Like she seemed to have self-respect. So it was a bunch of things that all went into it. And then the world tried to poke her or tried to see, you know what I mean? Like, is she hurtable or is she pokeable? And she really wasn't. And they were like, oh my goodness, can she show up on time to a gig, right? That's a second thing, you know? Can she show up on time to a gig, and is she going to do a bunch of drugs or whatever? You know what I mean? Is she going to party, or is she going to embarrass herself? And she didn't. Like, apparently she stayed sober. She doesn't really, you know what I mean? Like, she doesn't really party all the time. That's not her. You know, she's not a drunk. Like, that's just who she was on camera. Like, you know, they went to where people go to drink in order to get that footage. So Haley herself is a rather quick-witted Southern girl who seems to already have gone through the whole, like, since she was, you know, her kids grew up in like 3 and 4 and 5. It looks like she grew up when she was 3 and 4 and 5 with local kids, you know, already having to figure out the angles on things, you know, and she so she seems like a mature person. And when she's talking to like the people with the camera on, she has the ability to stay Haley Welsh. And it's been refreshing to just see somebody who seems, even if it's an act or whatever, you know what I mean? Even if, like, it's the thing, I don't know, rather than I know it's not, or I know it is. No, I don't know. But I'm saying it's refreshing to see someone unaffected by the politics and everything. At that, I've got a buzz on and I'm high on a Saturday night and I'm just happy and la la la. And that's what she represents, I think. That's what she represents, I think. I'm happy, I'm high, I'm a pretty girl, I'm not that, and I am not affected by the politics of today or the whatever. She doesn't look like any. She looks Ruby Tuesday. It doesn't look like you can hang anything on her, right? Who can hang a name on you? So she really seems to be Ruby Tuesday. That's really the way to describe it. And people are enjoying the Ruby Tuesday. That's it too. You know, that's it too. They're enjoying that. Anyway, I've gone on and on about it. But I really think it's the fact that she seems just like a happy, attractive girl that's unaffected. And you can poke her, and instead of her blowing up or popping or whatever, she actually can say something and come back. Like, and not just teasing either, like actually with questions and things like that. So 97% Jewish, that answers a lot of questions. It's like, where did she get this ability? You know, and it appears that she's been on for many years. Jewish people, I find, are on because their parents are like, you have to. Like, it's not a choice. It's like, you're going to kill you if you don't, kid. Like, you're going to do what you say. And I find they have that type of an attitude. So they seem to be fully on, like a robot. And she definitely seems like a real robot, like a living one. Like, how do you do that? Like, how are you always this person? And it's because they actually are that person. They got fused in it. And then instead of like other people, they dissipate that. I find that sometimes Jewish people, instead of dissipating themselves, they get into their character more. You know what I mean? Like, they seem to turn into more of a character as they get older, rather than dissipate. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to say that.
Wonder if she's augmented. We were looking last night at the augmented aspect of people, along with the 5G maps around the world, and places like Vatican City. Where we didn't look was we didn't look in Israel, and we should have. We found the highest saturation seems to be in the liberalist of places. Like California, Washington. We went to, where was some of the other places we went. Italy, they have high 5G saturation. A lot of these places. I'm wondering if some of the people in these areas are being allowed the access to the advantages of 5G. Because the advantages come up to being 20% stronger, 30% smarter, 30% more energetic. They can really augment a human being. It's being talked about at the Olympics too. If somebody has used this type of technology in order to win events, it would be so easy because it can be done with nanotech, almost undetectable. But they could do it now with patches, so they can transmit, better attitude. Just totally augment you. But are these people in these areas? Are some people being given these advantages? That we're not. There probably is a patch you can put on just to make you superhuman. From the military. Where it would make you smarter, faster, stronger. Every benefit quality you could imagine, they could probably bump it up 20, 30%. They can increase your strength by 20%. You know how massive that is?
Yeah, you just put the suit on, Max. It just and it stimulates each one of your muscles in turn. Okay, in turn, like one after the other one. You know what I'm saying, right? In concert, right? One after the other, like. I know it could do it all at once. I'm just saying you can flex them all at once. I'm just saying it's going. You get it, right?
It goes through your brain.
Whole body.
It goes through your brain to do it.
Oh, right, Max. It'd be way easier because they can, right? Because now they've mapped it, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it just stimulates. It's like Morgan, instead of doing it at the area, we now do it right there at the spine, right at the tip of the spine, at the cerebellum.
Yes.
As you think, so you are. So they have.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, I understand how you could even tell the body to change. Like tell the body that this is going on because then it will do this change.
Yeah, you could transmit an entire new genetics or morphology. Transmit 4 arms for long enough. If you transmit the architecture for 4 arms long enough, that person will grow 4 arms.
Change the density. Yeah. Oh yeah, the density. I was just thinking to myself, I wonder if you can even change the density of bones. You must.
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
I don't think there's much you really couldn't change.
Because it's like you can place yourself under more stress. You know what I mean? Like it's like hold the suit in tension. So that, you know what I mean? But every single muscle you place the tension on, you know what I mean? Understanding that the weakest link is you know what I mean, is the wherever it's, you get what I'm saying, right? You have to do it all at once. Like, you have to work on everything a little bit at once to keep it going. Yeah. But I mean, I bet they can do that. Like, that's what.
Yep.
Wow.
When we sleep, they can get us pretty easily. But if you're in a 5G city, because the 5G is steerable beam technology, so they can concentrate 1, 2, or 3 beams on you at a time, and you could have those changes constantly transmitted to you.
Yep.
Yeah, I wanted to throw in first. Hi, Morgan. Good to see you. Anyway, yeah, very good. Augmenting, especially in the big cities.
The resistance, yes.
There's people walking around that I swear they're not here. You know what I mean? And is it the fluoride in the water? I was just going on, I didn't know. But once I started looking at, the waves that we're dealing with in the air, Yeah, some of these people, they're augmented. They're like in their own world. They're really not here.
Have they isolated themselves? Like, or they got headphones on and glasses, and, just walking around like they're in like a. I do that sometimes, put on the
If they
headphones.
need those tools, Max, if they require those tools to get there, but you notice the other people are doing it without.
Yeah, it's like I would walk into restaurants or the malls or to offices in my work environment. There were just some people that, their switch just didn't quite reach on.
Yes.
It was weird.
They're not in
there. You say hello, hi, how you doing? Very monotone and yeah. And but they got, their jobs done. They lived probably normal lives, I guess.
NPCs, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah.
I know a lot of large psychics that believe that there are NPCs. I have a hard time with that concept myself. But, they say that there are a large number of NPCs out there.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't feel like an NPC. I don't think any of you are NPCs. So
no, but then again, but we chose not to go into the program. Like it's obvious.
Programs. I'm sure of that.
Borg.
Is there more to an NPC than just their programming? Or was there at some time more possibility for an NPC than their programming? Or I don't know. I still have a hard time with that.
I think there are less individual qualities and character in each person. The character in each person is certainly being defiled, if you will, like literally filed down, so that they're not, and they want that no extremes in the literal characters of the people. The extremes being, I need to do something about that. Instead of that moment where you're like, I'm going to act, or I'm going to write a couple words on a sign and march up and down the road or whatever. They want to get rid of that entirely. And I see people that you wouldn't be able to almost like reach them no matter what you do. Like, I mean, obviously you would, but I mean, like there is no deeper level to the person to really get to. I mean, there could be a potential for it, but they haven't accessed that yet, and they don't want to because it's easier this way because the Matrix is making it like the Matrix is saying, just go with the flow, go like become an NPC.
Yeah. Right. I was going to say Raven Quest. Yeah. I always say it is a made up personality cartoon, but it really stands for
NPC is like when you're in a game like whatever, Dragon Quest or whatever, you go into the shop and there's the character there that sells you stuff. That's the NPC. He doesn't have any other life other than to sit at a shop,
Yeah, right. Yeah, like they're cartoons.
Yeah.
I played in a band with a drummer, and we were talking about, dealing with different personalities in the band and at places. And he said, well, I just attribute everybody with a cartoon character. And when they act up, I just bring that little visual in front and I can laugh it off.
Sometimes I can be Bugs Bunny, but sometimes I can be the Roadrunner, and sometimes I can be the Tasmanian Devil.
Yeah.
I'm always Yosemite Sam.
And yeah, sometimes Yosemite Sam, yeah. And if I had to put a character on the not Biden, it would be Porky Pig.
See, look at how programmed we are. We know all those characters. Every one of us knows those names. Okay?
Oh, I also like
that is indoctrination.
See how much are we an NPC, right? So programmed.
I mean, I pride myself in having taken all the programming and having it all inside to be able to reference it all. Like, really, like there's a game that celebrates it called Trivial Pursuit, right? And the more the programming that you've taken, because you don't get the real answers, you get the answers they've given you in the textbooks, in the in the education system. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, let's play with the word trivial.
Indeed.
Trivial. What? It doesn't matter. Pursuit. Like your pursuit is futile.
Yeah.
They're telling you that you're wasting your time, and you're doing it anyway.
That's
Trivial.
marvelous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild because okay, what are the categories? Science. The other thing is arts and culture. And the other one is games and entertainment or whatever or something.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Geography. That's got to be geography and whatever. And this and the thing is, it's a Trivial Pursuits because not one of the pursuits is your spirit. Like
exactly, your soul. Yeah.
True.
And that's why they're trivial. It's like these are the worldly pursuits.
Yeah, that was one that game. I did memorize all their
right.
trivia.
That's right.
I was very good. I was very good at regurgitating it. I was excellent at it. Still am, I guess. I can tell you almost every theory and how it works. All the lie theories and all that. But now I can tell you the alternative theories.
Yeah, exactly. You used to get the option trivial. This, or this, right? A, B, C, or D.
Yeah.
Is it A, B, C? And it's like, well, you just told me the answer because one of them is the answer. So it's like not only do I get a choice, you know what I mean? But like,
yeah.
You ever played that Cards Against Humanity?
No.
It's kind of neat. It was popular about probably 10 years ago at this point, but you get dealt out a set of cards that have like certain responses on them and questions, and whoever's turn it is, they post the question, and you have to answer the question with one of the cards you have for a response, and it kind of gets deep into stuff, but there's a creative slant to it, and there's definitely a comedic aspect.
Take you down. Wow.
But you could definitely tell it's a good it's a good brain picker. You can kind of figure out how people think by what kind of responses they give and stuff.
Yes. No, that's the game. That's the thing, man. The questions are pre-selected in order to gain a specific, you know what I mean, right? Understood. Like a person's going to answer like this, and wow, dude, the possibilities of that. I'm going to ask you a question. You have cards with specific questions on them. You can only ask back.
Yeah, you can only answer a certain way.
Wow,
you only have a certain selection of whatever card you have.
That's good programming. That'd be excellent programming.
Oh yeah. That's what I was thinking, Max. I've been elated since you mentioned it. I was like, what? That's actually right. I was like, that works. I was like, that would be app programming.
Oh yeah, you're even giving them, like these are the options you're allowed to think of. You better choose the right one. I can see I can see. Oh God, the possibilities. If you could get people to play that game for an hour a day, oh man, you could have them. Oh, you could have them doing anything almost.
Exactly.
Yeah, I remember one of the questions was, just as an example, was like, how does the story end? And one of the responses I gave, because I was always trying to come up with something. Or no, there's also an air to it where you don't know. Yeah, you put all your responses in a pile. Nobody knows who threw the card into it, but the person who selected the original question picks out the best one. And then you figure out who gave that response. Well, one is like, how does the story end? And one of the responses I threw in was sleeping with your wife or some kind of shit like that. So it gets a little saucy, right? Especially if you play them with couples and that sort of thing. So,
yeah,
very interesting.
Well, no, that's the thing. Like that like psychologically and things. Like, okay, that's the first place that if I were to go down the iceberg or whatever you want to call it, that thing that they call that thing that you go down. No, it's the iceberg. Okay, the first one would be like the it stores or whatever, and then if you have a game where like that where you hand out cards and questions, the first place where that usually is utilized is where there would be the biggest commercial market, which is sex. So you make a game out of that programming, that ability. But that's what hypnotists and X-rated hypnotists and things like that, they do that. They'll even bring people up on the stage for a quick little session of what you could consider something that you could, I'm sure you could turn into a little game that you could do at parties or get-togethers, because that's what essentially it is. When you ask a couple questions and all of a sudden it gets someone to give information that's extremely personal they normally would never, ever do, but they just do it in a public place. And exactly. And then you've got everybody at a new place, because before you wouldn't sleep with each other, but now hopefully at this new place you will. Anyway, that's the idea of the game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, anyway.
I don't like games like that. Like the Game of Life growing up made me cry once, and I didn't ever play it again. Really.
Oh yeah, no. I remember that.
Kid. And then the next thing I knew, I had a husband and 3 friggin' kids in the car and going down the fucking board, and I'm like, no, this is a catastrophe.
No, that's right. We made a thing where you got to do it. Yeah, it was too unfair. The game. That's right. It ended up getting too upset.
I was young, but it traumatized me.
And we changed the gambling thing so you could put money down on the line and you could turn it into more like
Yeah, see, that's my favorite game. Is
too depressing. I'm going to get
Texas
the book.
Hold'em
Right here. I'm getting it.
And later on in life, when I wanted my tubes tied, they said you either have to have 3 kids or you have to be 23. So life literally tried to force me to have 3 kids just to get my tubes tied. Good thing I chose birth control. So like the game literally tried to happen in real life.
The pickle slicer, Renee.
Is that a game?
No, that was a horrible crime.
Yes,
but she turned it into. I think it was a game. I think they might have turned it into a game.
No, but I like poker. I like Texas Hold'em. I like,
you guys. I've got it on the screen if you guys wanna.
Yeah, we used to play
Game of Life. I've never played
that as a kid. Yes, I did.
I've never played it.
No.
It's bringing back bad memories for Paula.
Paula's having trauma. This is just trauma.
Trauma.
Yeah, I used to play it with all the kids my age.
The cards. This is the right way now. I'm holding it. You're at College Road there.
You either retire well or you go to the poorhouse.
Oh wow, that sucks.
Yeah, I mean it's strenuous on a kid.
Oh wow!
Like,
I'm not even looking at this screen. Nope.
And of course, I had that one. That one cousin that would always say, "It's all gonna come true, so you better play it well." Already indoctrinating me in fear.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember at one point I was looking up the old commercials for those games. Like the one.
Be a winner at the Game of Life. I'm a doctor. I'm a millionaire.
Yeah.
Remember? I do. Because I was on Ritalin. Here, Max. I got the game turned up now. If you want to do the thing now, I got it turned.
Close your eyes, Paula.
Okay.
There we go. There it is. Because I had to put the wheel back on, right? I had to put the wheel on.
Oh, the wheel too. The sound of the wheel.
Yeah, I wanted to do it.
Spin that wheel. Spin that wheel.
Wheel of Fortune.
I am. I just wanted to. I just have
to
do
don't
it.
spin the wheel.
Right?
Here we go. Magic. Don't spin the wheel.
See how raspy and gritty that sounds? That's horrible.
Here, I'm gonna do it again, like so you can hear it better, Max. I know what you want to hear.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Remember that?
Kids don't care.
That's just terrible.
Think of how much money they made off of those board games, because I think there's like mostly just 1 or 2 companies that made all those.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh my gosh, they made billions.
Yeah, you have to get your corporate job, do what the man says, pay your taxes, fall in line, have 2.4 children.
Yeah.
Get a car and a house and a cottage, because that's what life's about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had Candyland. They had Chutes and Ladders. Do you remember Mousetrap, where you had to build this trap and it would come down on a mouse and you
Yeah.
Well, you know what I find funny about the game Monopoly, right? Almost everything in Monopoly applies to real life except for one thing.
No, he doesn't, Scotty.
And that's the one that says bank error in your favor. Collect
yeah.
$300.
Yeah.
Right
Never
on.
fucking get a bank error in your favor.
You want me to grab a Monopoly board?
Well, now, no. It is too. Wait a minute. Let me correct you there. Because it does for the rich. It just doesn't for the poor. The rich are constantly getting bank error in their favor because, well, they're, friends with the guy that runs the bank or whatever,
Bank error in the bank's favor for sure. That's
And
happening.
for sure, yes, but not for us. You are correct. But for the rich, oh, yes.
I remember
I fully believe that when you're filthy, stinking rich, you don't have to spend a dime. You get everything for free. And then they charge us for it and call it taxes.
Well, at one point I did have as part of my 5 to 10 year
Mystery
business
date.
plan was doing some rentals, like whether it be home or office rentals. But that was part of my strategy, and I do think that came from the Monopoly game. I think that's where that idea was born in my head.
Yeah.
Hey, I have to ask Morgan, does the Mr. Monopoly guy, does he have a monocle?
That's why I'm showing it, because I already knew what you're asking, so I picked it up and brought it over here.
Yeah.
Right, to show you Mr.
Right.
Moneybag, right? And he's also on the front. Okay, like just wanted to show you, there you can see it all there. Him there. There's Mr. Moneybags there. Part of your question, and then Mr. Moneybags is here, right?
Yeah. It's not
No
there.
monocle.
No, that was a different advertisement. The one with the monocle was a line drawing dude, but it was a different company, and it was for something else.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And the peanut guy, remember Mr. Peanut?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got him over there.
Yeah, he had a monocle.
Yeah, he should.
Yeah,
in my
Blankers
mind.
does. Yeah.
Okay, so the guy, yeah, because the Mandela stuff everyone's asking
Yep.
right now. There's those who
Never heard of
remember him with and now without. So
Yep.
interesting.
There's Mr. Peanut.
Did you ever have a strategy like I did? I would definitely hit those railroads as quickly as I could.
Oh yeah, I did too. I would try and get the first property, the first property, the cheapest one, right?
Right.
And put hotels up on it. So not Baltic and Mediterranean, but the ones. Where would they be on the board here?
There's one with the monocle, and there's one
right
with
here. The one's right here, because this is Carolina St. Place, and this is Boardwalk and Park Place right here. Yeah, Boardwalk Park Place, right? This is Boardwalk and Park Place, and right here is Mediterranean and Baltic, right? I would try and get these 3 right here, before the jail. Because it would just cost like $550, $600 to put a hotel on each. So I would try and get those, and then put as quickly as I could, and then put like hotels up on them, right? Because you could with the money that you've been given at the beginning of the game that you start with, right? You usually have enough if you could. But the thing is, somebody else would usually be doing it near the same time. You'd have to have money to pay them, but it was a strategy.
I got a question. What was everybody's preferred?
Parking or no parking, right? I'd like to pay no free parking.
The game piece that you use,
Yeah,
the
the little icon pieces, yes.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, these are new ones because that's a game
The top
controller.
Mine
French
was
fries.
the boots. I like the boots.
Does anyone know if this is real?
Yeah, I like the hat. I
The
think
thimble. I like the thimble. Then there's the racing car.
Yeah.
For the car.
I keep the motorcycle in this
Oh,
one.
the motorcycle.
Huh.
So, did anyone that's in this live right now ever win at Monopoly? Because I didn't.
It's
At
a long
McDonald's.
game.
Or you mean the game playing?
Yeah, win the game.
Yeah,
Did
it's
you ever
long.
play Monopoly and win?
There
Oh
it
yeah,
is.
in jail.
Oh, the rich uncle. He does not have a monocle either.
Does anyone know that game?
No.
Ooh, Rich Uncle. I've heard of it.
No, I've never heard of it.
Well, here we have Monopoly Man with a monocle, Monopoly Man without. I believe on some of the cards he has a monocle.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yes, on the cards for sure.
But to answer your question, it depended how old we were at the time playing the game, because it was a long game and kids fall asleep or have to go eat dinner and, you know, all that stuff. So
Usually in our games, as soon as one person lost all their money,
that was it, huh?
yeah.
Oh, my cool.
So we would even write like IOU paper money, like take out loans. The
Yes.
person who had the most money would loan out some money to the loser and keep playing. Huh.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want a game that you're winning to continue, though, right?
Yeah.
Sure, I'll lend you some money. You don't mind playing while losing? Oh, you want to keep trying to beat me? Right on, because you are in that position of winning. If you don't got anywhere to go, it can be quite enthralling, right?
That's where it mirrors life.
That was never me, but it was always somebody doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, whipping out the piece of paper, going, all right, I'll write this down. Yeah. Especially once a couple other people teamed up on the person that was kicking their butt. Think of it, right? You got two other players, and it's like, oh, wait. It's like, why don't you allow that? Because right now we're going to team up to beat you. But that was what you did, right?
Yeah.
But think about that, right? It's just a board game. I mean, it's just for entertainment. But there's a lot of psychological and real life kind of things in that.
You can play free parking or no free parking, right? Where you put the money that goes into, that you got to put into community chest and stuff like that, or like, you got to pay for building fines and one in the center, right? And then if you land on free parking, you get that money. Some people don't like that because it takes away from that strategy that, from that game thing that people are going to play, right? The chess part of it,
Yeah. I like chess. Chess is my game.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Chess was the only game we ever needed, my opinion. You have to learn strategy. You have to be able to think 5 to 10 moves ahead. You make your move, but you don't make your move until you've considered what all the moves they're going to make and what's going to happen and the move after that and the move after that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
magnetic chess set. That's what that one is.
Yeah.
It did the chess set.
My mom should have put me in one of those groups. I forget what they're called.
Very good title.
You play chess like sports and
oh yeah, chess club.
Chess club. Yeah, she should have put me in chess club, but she never did. And I think it would have mattered more if I would have started younger in a chess club. But by the time I was old enough to actually join one, I was a teenager and I didn't care anymore. I just wanted to try to live my damn life.
I think I went to a little chess tournament at one point. I think I was just with somebody else who was going for some reason. I was just a tag along. But I remember being in there and tables were set up with the little clickers, the little time click thing.
Yes, clocks, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you tap them, you smack them, bang.
Yeah. I don't think I would have liked that because you are being rushed. And I mean, if you're good, you can do it. But I just didn't like being rushed because, it might take me a minute to think that many moves ahead, but you could do it. But I don't like being.
That's what I would do too. Just like you, I'd want to see each move. Right before I move my piece, right? Like let me just look what they each can do.
Well, you're supposed to memorize all the games, right? You memorize the Kasparov games and all those, and then you know what moves you're going to make and what to counter with. It becomes very repetitive after a while.
Maneuvers, yes, maneuvers.
There you go, right, Richard? Arm wrestling. That's a good one.
I remember
used to do leg wrestling.
I remember in Toronto, I got 2 stories for that. Well, one's in Barrie actually. In Barrie, Ontario, there was a chess club, a cabana club, right? It was a cigar shop, and a chess club was gone in there, you know, for adults and whatnot, you know. And I remember at the time, I was now I didn't have any drugs, you know, meaning I wasn't on my amphetamine or anything. But the thing was, I was working outdoors doing sodding, you know, all day long. So I was getting fresh air all day and giving her, all right? And so I'd go to the chess club and I'd play, you know, like, and the thing is that I had played a little bit of, you know, chess before, and I forget where I had played a bunch of, Covenant House, right? And I could play, and I played like well, I remember that, right? And I got my ranking, like, I beat the top guy, but let me tell you what I did, right? Because I thought I didn't want to get embarrassed by getting beaten too bad, I mirrored his moves. Okay? You know what I'm talking about, right? I went ahead and I just mirrored his moves. I went ahead and moved where he moved. He just thought it was brilliant. You know, so until he knocked over his own piece and went, oh, damn it, how did you do that? And I didn't say you beat yourself. I've been mirroring your moves. But that is how, because I don't have to make up a story about how I beat you know what I mean, a guy who's, you know what I mean, a billion times better than me, and ended up on the #1 guy in a chart for a day. And the only thing that happened was when people came in, I thought, don't embarrass yourself, speed play them, meaning move your piece as soon as they move their piece. You know what I mean? To see if you can get them to get into a thing so that when you lose, they can be like, oh, well, that was really fast, so it's understandable, but thank you for playing me that way. To make it funner for it. So that's what I did. I went ahead and I tried to make it the game as exciting for the person that played me as possible, understanding in my own mind. I know it's horrible to go into the game thinking that I was going to lose, but I mean, you got to respect the person you're about to play somewhat, you know what I mean? And I did by doing it like that, and they enjoyed it. The person went, you shouldn't do that, but the person went, stop, let them do that, because they really enjoyed playing that way, you know?
Sounds like you got into the head of an overthinker, and you beat him with simplicity, and he wasn't expecting the simple.
Yeah, no, I was lucky, man. I was lucky. I thought, I wonder if I can get away with mirroring his own moves. And I did, until he knocked over his piece and said, you've got me in 3 moves. By keeping my damn mouth shut, right? And going, I didn't see that, you know?
Well, that was brilliance in itself, right, Morgan?
No
really?
doubt.
Yeah, and difficult, you know, but that's what I mean. Luckily, I was working all day, and so that I had the fresh air going through me and everything, like, you know. But I kept my mouth shut. I mirrored his moves. He knocked his piece over and went, look, you have me in 3 moves. It's over. You know it.
Yeah, I don't know which 3 moves, but if you say so, okay.
You know what's going on because you beat me this far, you know? Like,
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. You've got me in 3 moves.
Be right back.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the line, man.
Hey, I wanted to go back and mention Richard said, yeah, most games now are phones and PlayStations. Yeah, we are a household here of Red Dead Redemption and Far Cry and you name it.
I got those. I don't play them that much, but I have them.
Yeah, Tippy, it's the partner in the house.
I watched the clips of it.
But I play it. But you know what I like is also on TV, I can bowl. I bowl.
Yeah. I play baseball on mine. It's very simple. But
Cool. Yes, very simple, fun, and get you moving. Mm-hmm.
I will say this,
like for a while.
Pool. I do like to play pool.
Real pool?
Oh yeah, I played pool my whole life. I got it. In Toronto. No, I was the #1 pool player.
I got a friend that's a
big accused of being a pool shark, but I always had to tell them, are we playing for money or not here? And it was always, no, we're not playing for money. Then how am I a pool shark? If I was a pool shark, don't you think
I didn't play for money either. I played it Evergreen. I played at the kids shelter. You know what I'm saying, right? The kids shelter, or whatever, on Yonge Street in Toronto. But the thing is, the guys that would come in that were so good, they could switch to one hand, you know what I mean, and still play and beat anybody. Like, and when they'd play me, though, you know, I would be able to beat them because they wouldn't go to two hands, of course. But you know, but yeah,
I got a buddy that's real good, and he's actually making cues right now. He makes his own custom. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He's a genius at everything, though. He's just one of those dudes. And
my grandpa taught me to play pool since when I was 3 years old. You know what I mean? Like, and it was at every single time I was there my whole life. You know, from 3, and he had 3-year-old cue for 3-year-olds. So I'd been playing it my whole life.
Yeah.
You know, by the time I was 21, I just did what he told me to do. Grandpa told me to do. You know what I mean? Like, I used every single thing that he ever taught me every time I'd shoot, and I wouldn't leave them a shot in snooker, right? Like that, I wouldn't even care if I didn't make my shot, as long as I hit my ball and placed the ball where I knew they either don't have a shot or they won't be able to. You get what I'm saying? Or they're going to have to do the same thing I just did.
Well, you would do that if you didn't have a shot. If you got a shot to get a ball in, then you take it. But if you don't,
and I could get it in from almost anywhere.
They don't have one. Yeah.
Yeah, I like 9-ball for that because you could play defense and that sort of thing. Yeah.
I couldn't believe the cuts I could do. You know what I mean? Like, just by slowing down, watching it, hitting the ball at the right spot, putting the right spin on it. But that you have to know everything. You know what I mean? It can't be like nothing was a chance, right? Everything. It's like no, I've thought of everything. Like that my grandpa taught me, you know. So I mean, I was doing everything from the way I held my cue, how I was standing, how I was looking at the ball, you know, to how I hit it. You know, everything was by the book until, you know. And then when I hit it, I would leave the ball where I wanted, and whatever slice I was doing, it would just work out, and I would do it with the right timing, you know. And sometimes you had to hit it hard, sometimes you have to hit it soft, but you never had to overdo it. You know what I mean? You never had to overdo it.
You had to have a feel for it. But do any of you remember the smells of the foods in pool halls?
Yeah.
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 I was never a good
always
shot,
greasy.
but I always used to hook people. Like, if at the end of my shot, if I didn't make my ball, I'd leave them in a hook.
Yeah.
That's snooker, man. That's it. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. That's the game.
Or they have to make a ricochet to get their shot. Haha.
Yeah, that is hooking. That's exactly right. It's called hooking.
Those
You know, I mean, it's
ricochet
snooker, but it's called
shots are
hooking.
cool, though. I love those ricochet shots. Those were my favorite.
Well, if you play with me, you'll get plenty of chance because that's all you'll get
Yeah,
is ricochet shots because you won't be
Oh,
able
wow.
to.
You
I never
just
leave a
like to
ball
be
straight in
incredible.
line for you.
Now I want to play. Now get a pool table and get your ass over here. So
Why'd
we
you
can
get
play.
Air hockey tables.
It's
8
been
ball or
years
whatever?
since I played.
Yeah. Or 9 ball or whatever. That was just practice for snooker. You know what I mean? Like, that's what my grandpa said. And we always had the snooker balls out rather than, you know, the other ones.
Yeah.
We only had the other ones out like later on, like, you know what I mean, like years later for a little bit, you know, then we could play with the other ones because we'd done snooker first. But I mean, like, for like 20 years, like, yeah, like I don't think we whipped the other ones out, like maybe just a couple times. But the thing is, whenever I'd be out to the halls, they have, you know what I mean, the 8 ball, they have 9 ball, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
yeah. So why play it when I'm there? You know, it's like when my grandpa's like take advantage of having the snooker, you know, the actual game, you know? I mean, I love playing snooker, right? Like, you know what I'm saying, right? With the pink and the black and
For some reason, it sounds familiar, but I don't recall it at all.
oh,
It's a bigger
wow.
table too. That's the one that's actually got the pegs on the table.
That's billiards.
Never played bumper pool. So yeah, I've never
Oh, I
played.
played bumper pool.
Bumper
Yeah, I played
pool.
lots of bumper pool too. Wow, I've done a lot. Like, wow, our lives. Like, I don't know if you guys' lives are like that, but like when I start thinking back, right? Like just growing up in the, you know, late 70s and then going through the 80s as and then 90s. Like, wow, we did
Well,
everything.
our town, we had they called it the game room, but it was mostly just pool tables and a couple foosball tables and stuff. But it was the center of social activity every weekend. Everybody in the town was there at some point at the game room.
Yeah, like arcades,
that was a great time.
roller skating, bowling, like done them all. Like, you know, we had a bowling alley in the town I was in. You know what I mean? And, you know, pool tables as well. You know, got into those later, right? Like, you know, 10 pin and 5 pin, right?
Yeah, I got introduced to the first DJs I met was from the roller rink.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played in roller rinks too. Yeah, you could do bands, you know, because you could, if you wanted, you could even have them play on the roller rink in the middle, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's always great. People would roller skate around.
Yeah.
I was never as good on roller skates as I wanted to be.
Neither was I.
They were too heavy on my feet, so I couldn't do all the fancy things other people could do, and I couldn't understand how they could, but I'm guessing it was because they weren't as flimsy as I was. I was very skinny, and
I was good at the skating part. I couldn't stop.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I loved rollerblading. That was fun because of the speed you could get.
Me too. No,
I don't know. Were they just as heavy as the regular roller
I like
skates?
rollerblading. Man.
Yeah, well, a little bit lighter, yeah, because they're more modern materials.
No.
Lighter.
You know, the roller skates had it. Like the first roller skates had the big metal pieces on the bottom and that, you know.
I got a question for the Canadians because I'm in Louisiana. Did you ever do personally ice skating?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
hockey.
Oh yeah, man. That's what I mean, right? Like now ice skating, but not just a little bit. We're talking, you know, a lot. Yeah, and I've got ice skates in the cupboard. I've got ice skates.
Yeah, we had a rink in the backyard every year.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's a trippy thing, you know, and I think about it too. Like, why don't I feel like, you know what I mean? Like, because I'm not homeless. You know what I mean? I've got a home with stuff in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We've got strong ankles up here.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, well, you have to.
I think it's regional. You know.
Oh yeah, you build them up. Yeah.
Wherever you're growing up, it's a regional thing. What you played with outside, you know.
Yeah.
I grew up in snow and we skied.
Baton Rouge had a actual ice hockey team. It was like the minor league, Baton Rouge Kingfish. And boy, I'll tell you what, for a sports event, those are the funnest sports events to go to.
Oh shit, yeah. Like, oh man, I'm thinking about our local ones here from just the high school, right? Oh man, watching the local high school boys as a grown man. Okay, so what? Even if I'm like 26 and 27, you know what I mean? That's kind of not the cutoff, but I just mean of like being a young guy and people are still like, why wouldn't he enjoy he obviously enjoys it. And besides, in a smaller town, it's almost like, that's great that you're here buying stuff and supporting like the team. You know what I mean? Like everybody loves it that you're here. Like as opposed to that's odd that you're here. You know what I mean? It's like I wish more people from the town would come out and support the local, you know, high school, right? But the hockey team, man alive, they would get into fights and everything. Like we're talking about encouraged by the coaches, you know what I mean? Like go out and fight now because we're 3 behind. What do we
soccer moms would go after each other like crazy up here too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Lots of fighting.
Yeah, like if you were a referee, you'd be pulling parents away from each other.
And that's why the world is the way it is now, because it's all about violence and who's the bigger, badder ass.
Right. Instead of kids having fun on the team. I get what you're saying, right? It's not about, hey.
Yeah, up here, the soccer moms, they fight more than the kids. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
They're setting a really bad example, you know. I hope they've gotten a handle on that by now, but
I'm a non-violent person, being human. But the way this world is going mentally, I feel like I'm becoming violent because I'm pissed off. I violently want peace.
I know. I suffered some depression.
I feel for it, you too. Absolutely, I feel that. That's why I smoke a lot of pot.
Yeah, no. I mean, the depression and crying was because I felt as though I'm being. There's too much pressure for me to change into something that I'm not. I'm not.
Exactly.
Look at the appetite for war is really low right now because you can look at the people.
Like,
there aren't a lot of people signing up for the military right now. And most people don't believe in their wars anymore because we know they're bankers' wars. So
Yep.
I see a lot of
It's hard to keep
positivity.
your life up when it's that. You know what I mean? It's hard when in your heart you no longer think it's a ticket to heaven too. You know what I mean? But that's the thing. Before, I'm sure it was in every man's mind, or every woman, every man's mind was kind of like, well, I mean, I do get to go to heaven automatically. But now they got to ask themselves a couple times, right? I don't think it's automatic. I don't think that's what means I go to heaven or not. You know, it's like if I get killed, I just die, and I leave my wife and kids without anybody. That's all that's going to happen. Yeah.
I think it's healthy though to have outlets. I mean, you know, certain people. I mean, everything's kind of been replaced as far as like on a physical level, unless they're playing college
violently want
football.
peace.
It's the UFC stuff. It's like it's the only outlet is the most extreme form of aggressive sport. Like we don't have anything in between. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I remember my mom and dad when I was a kid, and they were late 20s, 30s age. They would work, but they all played in like softball teams, and it was all adults who were still doing stuff, physical activities, and it's not as much of that anymore. And
no,
I think that kind of
they still do it. They still do it, and I still, you know, and to a certain extent, but not as much the adults, you know. But I've seen it like in Grand Rapids and in different places in the States, more in Michigan. You know what I mean? Seasonally.
Yeah,
but,
here it's more common around with the Indian people to play cricket.
Oh yeah. And I mean, like they use the ball diamonds on the island here. Like, you know what I mean? Like they've got their local teams, but and we've got ball diamonds like right down the road here. It's like, you know what I mean? Not to be rude, I just, you know, and I'm not being rude.
There are a lot of adult leagues up here too.
Oh geez, we still have games every week, and it's like, and we get a really good attendance of natives when the native team plays in town. And it's like cause it's like an old, oh, we're native and we're white, but nobody's raised us at all. It's just funny, you know what I mean? Like, and it's like not even close to, because it'd be too gauche, you know what I mean, for anybody to actually be, you know, like, because we love each other, right? So it's like, but that's the thing. The natives come out, they drink their beer, right, in their cars and everywhere, and so do the white people, and and then you play your ball, right? The beer league, they call it, beer league. We do that here. We've got ball diamonds.
We've got a ton of them around here.
Yeah.
Yeah. They built a couple of facilities recently. For like $12 million, they built this little bathroom facility. Like, you talk about your government overspending. It's got a little kiosk with a little kitchenette in it, and 2 bathrooms, and that's it. $12 million.
That should be a stadium. Okay, that should have a rink in it.
Oh no, no, they didn't even replace any of the fencing or anything. Just
No, I know what you got. I can see it in my mind's eye exactly. The thing for them to set up a commercial tuck shop in there, right? Another thing to make money for the city or whatever, you know what I mean, or for the event planners or whatever. But yeah, a spot for a little tuck.
It's all prefab, basically prefab concrete structures.
Yeah, a couple bathrooms, right? One girl, one boy, or whatever, and then one handicap / trans or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's got anything. I don't know if it's got like I don't know if there's like a change room thing on it or no. That's considered the bathroom. No, so it's not like one of those beach ones. No, just a kiosk and a.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. The money is the thing that I don't get anymore, Max. You know what I'm saying? Like you know how much their budget, you know, and what they're spending on things.
It doesn't add up, does it?
It doesn't add up.
We're also going to spend about $16 million to change to put in bike lanes.
Yeah.
$16 million to put in bike lanes.
Yeah,
and like you said in Canada,
a lot of
proposals.
Money,
that is a lot of
money. Proposals too. I noticed that too about 15 years ago, Max. Like just as an adult, I was like, it's the proposals. It was the Bruce nuclear plant that killed me. I was like, how much was that? 5 billion, 6 billion, and it just got thrown out the window, Max. How many years ago was that? 20, 15? You know what I'm talking about, right? The one for the nuclear plants, or was that like 20, 25, and I'm just nuts? Remember that though, Max?
Yeah, there was the nuclear plants, and there was the gas plant debacle. You know.
Yeah, there wasn't just one.
No, it was multiple. Yeah.
But $6 million, Max. That's like for Canada. That's quite a bit.
Well, it's like the sports league, like the NFL football stadiums. Like the Saints play in the Superdome, which was built in, I think, the 70s. And I don't know how many millions it was, but it was state of the art at the time, right?
Yep.
And then the Cowboys and the LA teams just built new stadiums. They're like $2 and $3 billion stadiums.
Yes.
Now, what is the big difference? I mean, the New Orleans stadium is still being used for events year round. They do some upgrades on the internals that make it look a little more modern and shit. But the core of the building is still there. It's still functional. But a new building is billions of dollars now. It's just none of this shit adds up. It's all money laundering to some degree, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah. No. The thing of when you're sitting there and you're going, okay, how is it that they can afford to tear down the entire previous infrastructure? It's mostly made out of cement.
Yeah.
And then wiring and different things like that. And it's like because you get new contracts to hand out, this and that. And it's like, so like, and the only way I can see it too is then by going, oh, well, since this money doesn't matter, we're going to just wipe out this money out here because you're going to start a new contract here. And it's like, wait, what are you doing? And it's like, so wait, and it's like, wait 1 second. What did you just do there? And it's like, I literally think that they just create money out of nowhere that's going to get paid, like, because the project exists. And it's like it's like a cash back to you in order to be able to spend more on your own project. If that makes sense. Like, it's like, since you're doing this project, are you gonna let us tack all of our stuff onto it too, and then we'll give you the money to do it? Yeah. Okay, great. We'll do it.
$400 billion in estimates and consulting fees.
Yeah.
449.2 billion.
Max, that's the crime right there. That's the crime.
That's $500 billion.
That's where they're handing out their envelopes, and I don't understand how anybody can have that much money without ruling the world. You know what I mean, Max? Like, it's like, wait, if you actually have that much money, you could just stand on the corner and go, okay, like the people that want to sell themselves, like, just to me openly. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not even making qualms about it. Just come on down here, I'll give you money, and when you want some more, I'll give it to you.
And honestly, I got it. All that consulting and shit, because when I worked in state government, they would do that too. They would just hire like an old guy who had retired previously to come in and give his opinion about something, maybe make a 1 or 2 page document. So it's basically you just paying somebody, you're outsourcing, because we already have people that are in jobs with these state governments especially, whose job it is to come up with ideas. But when they don't have them, they just outsource to get somebody else's opinion for a premium price.
Yeah.
So they're not doing their job from the get-go.
And then the competition becomes who can outsource the best talent as well. Not only are you a genius, right, and can pull a rabbit out of a hat whenever I snap my fingers, but can you outsource me one? Wow.
Brokers. Right. I'm sure there's middlemen for all of that. Everybody's going to get a piece of the action.
I know, it's like, Morgan, it's business. There's somebody for all that.
But the finance. That's why I say, the corruption is just getting really
finder's
thick.
Fee. Standard.
And
there's somebody Canada pays a lot to. Policy Horizons Canada. They're telling us how they're going to change us. Biodigital convergence.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've read other countries' biodigital convergence. They do not outline it as blatantly as Canada does. Right here, they're going to change human beings. They're going to change our bodies. They're going to change our minds and our behaviors. They're going to change our trade and other organisms.
Why are we not?
Go ahead.
Well, why are we not demanding answers to why? How is this investment, this public investment of public funds, to change us? Okay, outline the
That
benefits.
conversation we had a moment ago about NPCs and their prevalence in society. I'm thinking, anyway, just go ahead.
But they're not tyrants. They want to openly say, we're going to change you whether you like it or not, but they're not tyrants. Give me a break.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a contract. Read the writing. Here it is.
Yep.
There.
We told you what we're doing to you.
Yep.
Thank you, Mithra.
Black and white.
That's why I like whenever a politician gets elected, the first thing they always say is the people gave them a mandate to basically do whatever the fuck they want to do for the next period of time. They just feel like they have a mandate over everyone.
It's
you know what I mean?
Be weird.
Yeah. Well, Trudeau's the only one that said it, but the rest of them are pretty much thinking it. I don't care what the people want. I'm doing what I want, what I was elected to do.
What I was elected to do.
Yeah. And who was he elected by? Well, it wasn't us. He was elected by Klaus Schwab. Yeah.
Do you think in all of Trudeau's life, do you think he's ever been punched in the face one time? Just like checking.
Yeah, I do. I do.
Yeah.
He was definitely going to high school.
Schwimmer. He was at the Young Globalist Leaders with David Schwimmer, and he got beat up by one of the people's friends.
Yep.
Huh. Well, he must have reacted in a very sociopathic way.
Well, I think that person is dead now. Just recently died.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Because I gotta tell you,
mysterious overdoses. They were overdosed on ketamine, I believe.
Yep.
That's convenient. Yeah.
I'm trying to think about what's motivating Bill Gates to do all his shit right now.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a video of him in the 90s where he went to Belgium for this meeting and he got hit in the face with the pies. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's still pissed off about that. I think this is all Revenge of the Nerd shit.
Probably.
Dude, he hated humanity before. That's why that guy did that. I know they do that to people, but that's why they pick that. It is one of the most humiliating things you can do, but nobody shoots you. Now, now that guy might be dead now, for all I know, but he might not be either, meaning the government doesn't come down on you, throw you in jail for a while. You'll get probation maybe at the most because it was funny, it was on TV, everybody used the clip, and a lot of people don't make the clip of, look how horrible is it? Some people are saying that this guy deserved this. What do you think? And when it's presented like that, you're not going to jail. Like, you're not.
Yeah, he was a thief. That's how he made his money.
Max, you gonna unclick that comment so we can see Morgan?
Sure.
Yeah, he's
Morgan. Thank you.
No, he's
He's driving me nuts. Another comment.
Yeah, the new thing now about Bill is that they say during his Microsoft days.
One that's off, Max. One of the cameras that's off. Trade me positions with one of the cameras that's off if you want.
I don't know how to do that.
I know, neither do I.
I don't either.
There we go.
You did it.
Okay. There, Paul, I can cover you.
Oh, nice. You figured it out. There you go. You can hide me because I know what, I'm not looking at me talking. I'm looking at, you guys talking.
Live in my manifestation. I just think it and it becomes real.
Oh, if only you could just think it and it becomes reality. We'd be living in a much better world, let me tell you.
I've gotten every one of my wishes so far, except I can't change other people's. I can't make other people's choices for them.
Yeah, that's me. I can manifest physical things pretty well, but when it comes to other people, forget about it.
Yeah, especially with hands and a mind that thinks and hands that do. I can really manifest almost anything that I can think of in front of me. Or I can do anything or create it with my hands, like songs and waves, but I can't make other people's choices for them.
Yeah, it's spooky how well I've been able to find things that I want, whether it's buying some of this musical gear, and it's even this house I'm living in. Like I knew what this shit looked like before I even saw it and bought it, and just the way that things come together. There's definitely something
Yeah,
to
you
that.
caught your groove, and the universe guided you.
Yeah.
The impression of it guided you to it. Like, oh, that's wild, man. When your time
Yeah,
if I'm
in
ever
little
shopping
ways,
for a
of
vehicle,
course.
lines up with your heart.
That happens for me as well. But I mean, like, the world shouldn't be what it is. If what I thought could actually manifest in a way that would be good for the entire world, it would be a much better place.
But did you manifest? You
That's
didn't
what I
manifest
want.
all this, I hope.
Huh?
I said you didn't manifest all this, did you?
No, I didn't. I would have manifested something way better than this.
Yeah, you manifested.
So why isn't it
You guys do a
happening
way
is my
better
question.
job.
You know, we all have, this whole group, we have a better way of
Well, you can
making the world.
manifest your personal life, but to manifest the world, that's much more difficult.
Yeah, I don't think it's possible. Yeah.
well, that's where
No.
I think the mass collective conscious. That's why they got us all so to keep us divided. If we ever did put all our heads in one direction, I
could,
think we
yes.
could.
Yeah.
No, it starts when you're always alone. You get paranoid when you're alone, and you don't have someone else to tell you, to be cool, like, because cooler heads prevail. Whatever it is you're thinking about, even the most violent act, if you're going to commit one, it's better to do it without being violent. and you're like, wait, what? And yeah, no. The most violent acts of all are done better walked to slowly, unassumingly. And when you strike, it's done without any force or any quick gestures. It's done as you stay in the same motion, and nobody even knows when you've done it, but it's done.
Well, I find the best revenge, at least for me, the way I handle it, if somebody purposely does something to me where I should react in a very
like
not violent way, but a very reactive way, I'll say, to
and care about them and move on.
Kill them with kindness, or to not give them the satisfaction of thinking that they
care enough to close the door on them. I'm emotionally healthy, and I don't want to treat you the way that you're treating me, so I need to say goodbye until we can meet again at hopefully a better time.
Yeah, like my cutoff game is strong, dude. I can drop somebody like a bad habit.
You got to, man. I was thinking today about a relationship, right, where I did that. I was like, this hasn't been healthy, except I remembered I had tried to do it many times with an open heart, and I was not being met with, and it didn't matter whether they were trying or whether they weren't trying. I felt very agitated, and I don't know what just triggered by them, as if that's what they were trying to do, as if there was something wrong with me that they needed to question, or that kind of a thing. You know what I mean? And I didn't feel like, being that to them anymore. You know what I mean? Like having to justify myself to them any longer. So I was just done. You know what I mean? Rather than getting upset or angry or becoming unbecoming towards them. And that's the thing, right? In trying to tell people that, you become like, I become exactly what it is that I was, trying to avoid. And like, it can get frustrating.
Yeah, I've learned some expensive lessons with people that I knew were going to burn me, but I went ahead and made the investment in it anyway. But once I got my answer, that was it. You know what I mean? Like, you loan
I
somebody
find myself
money,
much
they
more
can pay you back
again, like, to trust. And I mean, like, I guess, people are who they are too, like, meaning people usually, I think, like, hopefully show you who they are to an extent if you spend a certain amount of time with them. And if they are really sick, like, they're not doing you any favors, they better be really, really, really ridiculously good looking, or else you have no business being with them. No, but that's the thing, ugly's on the inside, right? And there are people where it doesn't matter how good looking they are. they turn your stomach, man, because it's like, you think that way, and it's a game. It's a deal ender, right? It's like I'm diametrically opposed to your ideology. I don't like, it's like, wait, it's like, your brain is your body part sitting there going, dude, I could give a shit about her politics. You know what I mean? It's like, but I can't. And I mean, I don't know if that's.
Or they can be completely empty and vacuous.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Exactly.
Self-absorbed.
I'm not going to do that to myself.
You know.
I'm not going to do that to myself.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing too. It's like, ask yourself too, like, why are they available? I mean, like, that's, if you do that, you're going to be alone forever. But I mean, a lot of the times when you find something that seems too good to be true, or there's like, a really exceptionally attractive woman, it's like, ask yourself before you dive in, why is she alone? I just mean, a lot of guys would save themselves a lot of pain if they took that time to before they sleep with them, and, and then feel obliged, and then she's not going away. If they had taken the time to look and see why this woman is alone.
Well, that's a very easy thing you can do to test people, is to tell somebody no.
Yes.
A lot of times that first no, if you deny them something, that's when a lot of people will reveal themselves.
That was brilliant. No, that's really good that you know that. I mean, that's really good.
That no theory, that no factor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can handle that right on. It's like, cool. Exactly.
There are a lot of good messages being put out to kids these days too. So about relationships and
that was the other thing.
Yourself like a piece of tissue cloth,
No, I can't pretend as if children do not notice the huge polarization between good and bad at the moment. It's like, it doesn't matter if they're pretending for the adults they're around, because the adults are around are all brainwashed and everything. Yeah. We know how kids are. We know how social groups are. We know they talk. We know they know the Trump thing. You know what I mean? All kids would know. And now, hopefully they're not, they don't, like, if they give a shit, you know what I mean? Like, about that, I mean, like, or if they know, aren't Republican and Democrats the same thing? You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not going to take too long trying to explain to them how they're two different, but at the same time, I'll explain to them a little bit. Like, I'll explain to them what's true, but I mean, I'll let them know that they're right. It's ridiculous because they're all in a club and we're not in that club. So it doesn't matter if we vote or not. And I go, that is what is funny, kids. And you guys are right to laugh the whole politic thing and really think it doesn't really matter that much. It's all just a show, right? And I said, Shakespeare is right. It is all a stage, and they each go on top of it, strut their stuff for their hour, and then remembered no more. And that's in the Bible too. And then nobody remembered your name. Doesn't matter who you are. No one remembers what you did. And everything you did goes to somebody else anyway. So remember that when you're in life, when you're getting all full of yourself, and let out the hot air before you get yourself into trouble, like with peers, with other people, because of being foul, around other people.
Well, voting doesn't really make a difference, but it does tell the oligarchs what ones you don't like. That's about all it does.
Yes, and that's the other thing. I would be hurt, even though
it might hurt their feelings.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like this upcoming election, it's like, what do I want to see, right? And I mean, like, that's being want is wrong, but it's like, if somebody said, hey, Morgan, I would say, well, it seems as if decisions being made by one administration are hurting the country very badly. And even so, based upon that, and not some knowledge that I'm not aware of, that's secret, that I should be looking into more and then making my decision. No. Based upon a decision that people will understand and not lynch me for when they find out that I'm the guy that got to decide, I'm saying, even though Trump did the whole warp speed, the blah, blah, the this, that, and the other thing, I would say go with Trump because he seems less liberal when the liberals seem to actually be radical leftists to a fascist degree. And that's, I hope.
They're a fascist communist blend, is what they are.
There certainly is.
Let's play with the word fascist and fasce. I'm sure they're related.
Yeah.
Trump is just a distraction, so they can continue to put in the grid and work on
the voting thing is. It's kind of like just a psychological survey.
Because he said he was going to give us our country back.
But what does that mean, right?
And that was never the plan.
Like if you were to vote,
I think it just means, like, stop doing things that he knows absolutely everybody would not choose. The majority of people will be yelling, "I would not choose that." That's obviously the decision of people in business that are lobbying, and the lobbyists have gotten to you and your political party, and that's why you're making the choice you're making right now, because it's certainly not for the people that voted for you. Trump didn't do as much as Biden seems like the party seems to be doing that Biden works for, because it's not Biden thinking anything, but the party that's puppeting Biden is certainly telling him to just do whatever is good for China.
They're both under deep state control, but it's there is a little bit of a there's the left and right paradigm, right? So they're just using the left and right paradigm to keep you in the system.
Yeah.
Keep you believing in it.
Yeah, it's like a game of ping pong, but the game is really the net.
Yeah, it's all the same. It's all the same team, right? They're in that one team that we're not on, and they're just playing. They're just playing a game of Monopoly in front of us, and with our lives. For bigger parts of the pie.
Waves. Yes, that hit us.
Neither one of these presidential candidates right now have given us anything to vote for. They're not saying what they're going to do specifically. The only thing we heard was no tax on tips, which is that's like elementary level.
Yeah, let me hear destroy the deep state and lock her up again, because that's what he promised the first time.
Even if you're not going to do it,
how's the state of the deep state right now? How's that going?
Right now, they don't even need to sell us anything. We're just going with the lesser of two evils based on this nebulous intrinsic storyline of one side doing one thing versus one. There's nothing concrete there.
Yeah.
Like if you're not a TV watcher,
he's less compromised. That's why we're picking him, because he's less compromised.
But if you're not a TV watcher and you don't have anything, you have no idea about this deep state conspiracy, any of this shit, and you're just walking to the voting booth every 4 years, which one are you going to pick? Well, if it's only picking red or blue because of some conservative versus liberal ideology, what are you actually getting for your vote? Nothing. Well, so it really is just a survey of psychological.
Yeah, and all the underlying laws that they really want, like did Trump get rid of the Patriot Act?
Right.
We're still under emergency measures, by the way.
Exactly.
We're still in a possible state of martial law.
Yep.
Same as it ever was.
None of these things are going away. He's going to promise you fuel? Okay, great. How about you repeal the Patriot Act and destroy the deep state? Lock her up like you promised.
I get it. It's he's going to come in and get rid of the symptoms of the disease, right? While the disease is completely healthy and doing whatever it wants, and everybody's completely aware of that. But the thing was, what they did was they introduced the disease, right, and got it going up and running, and then introduced everybody to here's the symptoms of it, and then everybody was like, just get rid of the symptoms, and we'll let you do whatever you want. Won't even say anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much.
That's why there's not a lesser of two evils. It's going around TikTok right now that's a false conception that there is a lesser of two evils, because evil is still evil.
I don't understand how come so many people got on board completely with Trump as some kind of savior, but that's what we're dealing with. You guys know it too. You know what I mean? And the thing is, and not a lot of people will say when that's said, no, not really. You know what I mean? They'll never do that because it's a party, right? And it's swept up in its own.
He'll never do anything that increases your freedom at all. It will not.
That's what I mean. Yeah. He's just not going to take them away as quick. That's what I mean. If somebody's like, Morgan, why are you voting for Trump? Because he's degrading the freedoms less slowly.
Yeah, but he's still going to degrade them too.
Oh, they were,
Right.
because it's
He
fact that he said he
legislated
was
for
not going
5G
to eat it too.
He legislated for 5G.
Actually, when
to
you
be only
think
free
about
There's
advice.
it,
no way
the
that's not
most-
going to happen again. You know what I'm saying? There is no, it's 1,000,000,000 to 1 because it's never been done. I've never seen it done to be able to get that one iota of it happening.
It's always
They're there to erode the freedoms that were instilled in the Constitution when this
And that's
country
a
was formed.
That's a
Yeah, I mean,
constant onslaught.
Well, that's a
Nothing-
whole thing. It'll be on my channel as soon as I can upload videos again. But anyway, the worst kind of evil is the kind that makes you think that it's good when it's not.
Right.
And that is what
Yeah.
Trump is doing.
Yeah.
So
In terms
he is
Yeah.
technically
He's not
worse
offering you more
than
freedom.
the fuckers that are right in your face about their wickedness.
Nobody even
Worse
cares.
than running around
Yeah,
in
like-
parades in front of children with your junk hanging out. He's
Yeah,
worse than that.
Because when that was happening, he, as the authority, no matter how much they want to play, like they don't have, like they're the one that can't go, hey, you know what? That parade thing there, they need to have their genitals covered, or put the cuffs on, take them away, just like you would any other time at any other place. And that's how
Yep.
we're doing it, and that's how we're
Yep.
going to do it. And
I
I'm
hope
going to be.
people are paying attention right now to Kamala because she's saying, I'm going to fix the border while I'm elected. Well, bitch, you can do it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Ain't that
Yeah.
amazing?
If I get in, I will. Kamala,
She could cut
you're
connections
in.
to the tip right now. You know, this all can be done right now. You know, they're dangling the carrot, right?
I saw
look
that
here.
too, man. I saw that too. And say, if I
Yeah.
get in,
Trump just
I
had
was going to do what I didn't do for the past 4 fucking years. Yeah, sure you are.
Yeah.
Right?
Trump has a speech he just made where he said that as far as this immigration thing goes, yeah, he's like, I want to get rid of the bad ones, but we need more people here because AI. So he literally said we need more immigrants here because of AI. So, you
Wow.
know, lesser two evils is whatever, but that's how they work. This lesser two evils, it's always, yeah, you might take one step back from evil with this guy or this girl, whichever one you want, but they're still taking 3 steps forward.
yeah,
That's
I
all it
get
is.
it. I get it too. It's like we're still using it to take 3 steps forward, and it's like,
Yep.
yeah, I totally get it. The thing is that but the thing is, I anybody who deliberately, you know what I mean, would take the time to vote the other way. It's like you have to, you as a human being, you have to question and ask yourself, why? Is there something they're not seeing, or is it because they're somehow benefiting from the cabal in its way? You know what I mean? It's either because either one or the other. They're either
Yeah.
fooled, you know what I mean, to a dangerous level where they'd kill your children and their own children. You know what I mean? Like if they were out just on a walk around, you know, hey, would you like to do this to all these kids? Well, I guess we can. I'm their guardian right now. You know what I mean? And it's like,
Well, look
you know
at
what I mean?
who
Like,
they've got as
Yeah.
a third option, or Kennedy, right? That guy's so
Yeah.
shell shocked.
That
Like
dude's
he's got it. You know, his life is
Yeah.
entailed. You know,
it's
that
fucking
dude
weird,
is
right?
so freaking shell shocked. Like he is easily manipulable, so emotional.
Did you hear the story about the bear thing with him? Did you hear that? Where he dumped a dead bear in Central Park?
Yeah.
No,
I heard about
Back
that.
in the day.
That shit was nuts,
Yeah.
bro, because they have news clips where the news was reporting
What
that
was wrong
somebody
with
fucking dumped them in plain sight on purpose.
Yes.
So they did it as a goof, basically, to try to, you know, basically fuck with people. And they got off on the news reporting about it. That's like some crazy drug shit. That's why I think all these people are really, seriously, I think they're all on like cocaine and their minds are gone.
Dude,
They're
you're
drug
not wrong.
mobs.
They are.
The Clintons, all of them, they all got their power from dealing drugs.
Yep.
Yeah.
British Empire.
Yes. Did you say dreadnoughts?
Drugs.
Oh, okay. Like,
I'm sorry. I know. I apologize, everyone. I'm talking a little odd tonight because the left side of my throat and jaw is off.
We're saying.
Sorry.
No, that seemed like a very appropriate term. I was like, oh, dreadnoughts.
Oh.
I've never heard that, but
Dreadnought. Yeah.
it seems like it was good. Yeah.
Try grounding, G? Did you try grounding?
The Corsican twins.
I might have to do something. Yeah.
I had a weird thing last week with like a sore throat, and I had an earache for a few days, and like just
I had a respiratory itch. That's because they were changing. I think what it is, they were changing out one of the programs.
Probably.
I was in pain until I came up on here. My stomach was really killed.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a lot of health effects that are caused by wireless. Like right now, my teeth are sore. A couple of them. They're not aching or anything, but they get away with it.
I can't believe that mine actually aren't for once.
Yeah.
Well, it was my gums, not my teeth. I realized the other day too. It was like my gum.
Yeah, I can show you one of my teeth that just came right out of my head. It's actually burnt on the side. Wow. What happens, I think, is the charge jumps from your gums to your teeth.
Really?
Yeah. Oh no, it does.
That's messed
it does.
Up.
It's all electric in the teeth now. I'm realizing it's all electric in the gums and everything. It's weird.
Well, in the movies and to TV shows, I don't think it was just because they thought they had a chip in their tooth. They were always in those conspiracy movies. They'd be always grabbing the pliers and pulling out that tooth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the barber did it back in
Natural
until the early 1900s. You went to the barber, they just pulled them.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's problems for a lot of people too, with because they'll act as an antenna. So if you have some fillings, those are probably going to be the teeth that have the first problems.
Yeah. And I could see how some people back in the day would have totally received signals. Now, you're going to say, oh, right when they're filling. No. When they take a fork, a certain type of metal, you know what I mean? Like that are common, and put it in their mouth and it touches the filling.
Right.
Then they all of a sudden, and they start getting a radio fucking signal, man. And it'd be terrifying, absolutely terrifying, I imagine.
Yeah.
You know? Like, and then realizing you can't tell anybody, and anybody you do tell, they're not going to understand at all. They're not, like back in the day, they wouldn't have put together the fucking they wouldn't have put together the filling thing. No. You know, they would have just been
stories about people hearing like radios in their heads.
That's what I was thinking. You'd be hearing voices, and people go, "Well, what are you hearing, Frankie Valley?"
Or I hear a sportscaster. You know.
Yeah. Or it's like,
it's the Channel 7 sportscaster in my head.
Yeah. But yeah, when you put that metal in, you put that steel in your mouth, right? It's when you touch. Yeah, I get it. You're all like, that makes perfect sense, Morgan. Not when you're just sitting there, but when you touch the filling with the metal. Yeah, that's
my buddy had my buddy in his house. He had a pipe that was the perfect length to catch a radio signal. So when you sat in the bathroom in the basement, you could hear a radio signal. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
I bet they're kicking their own asses, it occurs to me, for switching from copper pipes to plastic or metal. Not as conductive.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it'd be easier to get through to us if our pipes, our water pipes and everything were still copper.
Well, they're grounded usually, so that's actually good for you.
Well, yeah, the copper, getting water to a copper
plastic isolates the water. It doesn't allow
like the inside of your wires are copper. I was thinking wires and pipes.
But pipes are always grounded. Your positive, negative pole aren't grounded.
Okay.
But usually you can, if you need to ground yourself, touching your pipes usually is a good idea. If they're copper, they'll ground you up.
Right. Yeah, they would be too. That's wild.
By being in the bath or the shower is very grounding too, because the water will go down the pipes and be grounded.
I get some of the best ideas in the shower. I really think
when there's no
there's something about
anywhere around.
Yeah. Your head clears up in because of the steam.
Something, or there's something in the water itself, like it's carrying data, and it's running over my body and giving me stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know that sounds cray, but
just the nature.
It's true.
All your cells,
then she blew my mind.
Being stimulated all at once, you know, like a whole body stimuli going on. It just activates your
Yes, that's right. That's right. The nerves, on your skin, right. All of them, all being, yeah. Like they all get goosebumps. They'd all be reaching up for the hot water. Oh, for real though, bro.
Okay,
Yeah.
now I'm having a thought that we have all these different settings on our shower heads. Do we get different messages by the way the water's hitting our skin? I'm wondering, because that could be possible since water is programmable. You've got your regular shower, you've got the pulsating, you've got all these, like, 8 or 10 different settings. I'm going to play with it.
Definitely affects your muscles, right? Because that's how the massage.
Yeah, that's right. It would, like pounding like a masseuse. Yes, like a masseuse on your muscle. Right.
I got a out of a copper cup is good for you too.
If you go outside to take a piss, right, and you got a steady stream of pee hitting the ground. Is that a grounding connection?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because when you piss on an electric fence, you know what happens. So damn right, it's grounding.
Yeah. Don't do that. Don't piss on an electric fence. That's not funny.
Yeah. So that's an easy answer, man. Yeah, that absolutely a connection created when you're pissing. Yeah.
Yep.
When you get a steady stream. Yeah, you're totally grounded to the ground.
Yeah, and then you get that shiver down your spine and you get goosebumps. That disconnects you from the system for a moment.
Yep.
Good for you too. Changes the electric potential of your skin.
Yep.
I find that in the bath too. When I dunk myself, I get goosebumps. So giving yourself goosebumps is good.
I still get it from music. And,
yeah.
You know, that's the reason why I never took ecstasy back in the club days is because I would always get those goosebumps from the music. I love the music so much. I didn't want to mess with that.
Yeah, because that's exactly what that messed with.
Yeah. I stayed away.
Exactly what that would have messed with, bro. And it would never been the same after you'd taken it.
Yeah.
For real. That's exactly what you're feeling. Your mind dropping little like chemical dope, and you're like, oh no, it can't be. Yeah, that's exactly what what it's doing. It's showering you. Showering you. And you never want to lose that, brother, ever. But that's what ends up happening. You know what I mean? Like people sit there and it's like taking out trimmers, right? And trimming that bush. You know what I mean? Like trimming it down when that's your nerves, right? Your nerves, your feeling. And they're trimming all that down. Now they would be like, wait, you do lots of drugs. Oh yeah. But you know, like I think at the beginning it can also be like topping off a plant and giving it all sorts of different ways to go down. But that's all the different things in mind expansion. But anyway, you know.
Yeah, like mushrooms or
and like I don't necessarily think that's bad.
Well, even weed, right? Like they used to sell on all those stay drug-free commercials. They always sold the big thing was that pot made you lazy and stupid, right? But no, not for me. It energized me.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Hey, Mom, you look for a job yet? No, marijuana will make you do nothing too. No, Mom, no, you don't do nothing to me. Marijuana will make sure nothing happens to you too. Even though everybody smokes weed, just like.
Shit, I always make
sure. No, I'm not going to be a scientist, but I am going to get my aches and pains after working at the factory all day, taken care of by smoking this joint. Oh no, I might never win the Nobel fucking Prize. Like, it really made it seem like it was only like kids too, right? It's like, wait, I can't see any reason for why an adult wouldn't smoke a joint. It's like, okay, with those commercials, right? The way they made them too. It's like, okay, well, maybe for a kid, you know, but I mean, like, but you know, it's like, so like as soon as you're done like high school, or like what is it supposed to be? But I mean, you smoke a joint when you're like 13 or whatever, and you find out it's you know, it's really fun, but it doesn't destroy your mind.
Yeah, I definitely, I do agree that like a young developing brain should stay away from that shit as much as possible. And like, I didn't smoke till I was 19, 18. And
well, and I would say wait till you're 24, 25, whenever the reasoning part of your brain is completed with its growth. And then start smoking it. Yeah.
I mean, like, if you've got a kid that's about to shoot themselves in the head, right? Or like other people, you know, and stuff like that too. If you know what I mean, like if you're like, hey, you want to smoke a joint? What? Like, hey, I really enjoy this. I was gonna go shoot up the school, but
I think the thing. It definitely does depend on the person and the wiring that you're already working with.
And maybe even the blood type.
I think weed's good for that, though. You know, like I think weed does cause people that could be like, you know, like to be like, nah, I was gonna go join a gang, but or you know what I mean, or go you know, fight or something. But I really don't want to because I like getting high. Or you know what I mean. I think
it's definitely a better depression medication than all those SSRIs and shit.
Or alcohol.
I and do art. That's what I did.
Like, I definitely like it more than alcohol too. You know what I mean? Like that's the other thing too. When somebody wants to do something, you know, to feel something or to change their head, but they don't want to drink, you know, because they don't like themselves when they drink or whatever. Marijuana is really good with that.
I didn't start smoking cannabis till I was like 29.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I remember.
Well, my mom was brainwashed, and so did all the messages on TV to, oh, it's bad. This is your drug, your brain. This is your brain on drugs, blah, blah, blah. So I stayed away from it. But age 29, I'd had enough of the Behçet syndrome disease from age 18 until, 29.
Yeah.
So I started smoking it, and it eased the symptoms, so I just kept smoking it.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were giving
research that it is what they call a neuroprotectant. That it can.
Hi, Max. And the medicine they were giving me was for cancer, not for the disease that I had, because there wasn't any medicine for it, so it wasn't helping. And I used to say that reading the Bible all the way through healed me, but what if I had just at the same time been smoking weed long enough for enough years from age 29 to 33 that I just got healed from the weed?
Well, I think it has to be both because he made the weed, so it's both.
Yeah, we have
you get healed by it. Absolutely, 100%. He says that. I made that herb for you to take and be relieved from your symptoms. That's said inherently by the plant and the medicine he placed within it, that he knows was going to have this effect on us. So, I mean, it's both.
Yeah.
I think in general, just doing new and novel things, even if it's just having new and novel thoughts, is healthy on the brain, especially if you're having a problem. Because that plasticity is a real thing. Use it or lose it.
Have you read it?
Say that.
Have you read it? The Brain That Changed Itself?
Yeah, and it's always in a process of all
plasticity of the mind. Yeah, the book's called The Plasticity of the Mind.
Yeah, that's very important, especially in the old age.
I read it when it came out. My middle name's Reed. R-E-A-D.
Yeah, well, there's actual scientific white papers you could find on NIH website about it too. They definitely.
Oh yeah, there's lots of good material out there now.
Yeah.
I remember. I should. The first book that came out that was very popular. You know what I mean? Like, that would get to John Q. Public was The Plasticity of the Mind, the Brain That Changes Itself. That's a title. You know what I'm saying? The Plasticity of the Mind, the Brain That Changes Itself.
And y'all were talking earlier about the Olympic athletes and that sort of thing. There's actually research that has been done that shows, like, if I'm sitting here and if I just think about doing training, right? If I just envision myself in my mind lifting weights, your body already responds at least 30% improvement as if you were actually doing the activity without doing it. That's why athletes.
I knew that thinking about it had to do it. Yeah.
That's why, like, pro athletes, when they talk about, you've ever heard them being interviewed and they talk about how they get prepared for a game. Some of them say they'll envision the whole game play by play in their mind.
Yeah.
And that is
imagine lifting a weight with your arm, but it's not there. But pretend as if you're method lifting them. You know what I mean? But method acting, right? Like, really pretend. Like, I want you, even like you. Now, some people don't like this because they think, oh no, a demon's going to enter you. Ask the Lord to protect you while you're doing it if that makes you afraid. Ask for a circle of protection or whatever around you while you do the exercise. But allow yourself to, you know what I'm saying, right? To actually feel the weight, manifest the weight in your arm. I'm doing it right now, you know what I'm saying? It's like, as I do it and tightening up the arm, it's like, oh my goodness, And it's like, and if I let my brain think it, I can do it too, right? And I know I'm lifting that weight and the muscle actually gets larger, it bulges, it does everything.
Yeah.
You can train yourself with your mind, like you were saying. I thought you said that earlier too. Who was saying that earlier? One of the women made that point earlier too.
Yeah.
You can train yourself like that.
Yeah.
Plus, like the power, like they talk about self-healing and the power of just having faith and belief in something enough.
Yeah, like with the programs too, you can program yourself and you can heal yourself with your mind just by thinking. Heal yourself. It's in the Word of God too. It'll heal yourself. Like this, it's a healing program. It'll put you in. Place you in the right wave first too, alpha, and maybe it'll take you through all 4 waves. Or I know there's 5 or 6, but you know what I'm saying, right? You have a delta wave, an alpha wave. What if it can take you through each stage and do what it needs to at each wave, and then leave you like cured from whatever it is, like a bad mood.
Well, Max, what do you think about like those patches you were talking about, right? Is there any well, we'll say peer-reviewed science? Is there any data to back up any of those claims? What do you think about that being just an elaborate placebo effect kind of marketing?
They have them. They have patches that are narcotic. And it's just a program. Sorry for interrupting, Max. But
as far as I understand, the technology's there. I've been researching in the IEEE website for all this stuff. It's out there.
But there's got to be a placebo effect. A placebo effect has to be there.
You would get that as well, right?
Yeah. That's definitely part of it.
Because what they're doing is they've mapped out brain waves, right? So what they do is they transmit the brain wave of strength to you. They can do it with emotions as well. Like they can relieve anxiety and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
They can also increase your mental focus, your memory. But yeah, all of these, it's just because they've mapped out the brain, right? They did. I was under Obama, but they mapped out the brain. And right now, I think, with Bitcoin, they're working through the algorithms for the decoding and how to propagate the signals. So that's what Bitcoin is. Once they're done with Bitcoin, they map out all the thoughts, memories, movements, and other things about it.
The effect of narcotics on performance is a real thing also. Like in college, everybody was on Adderall to study better. And
imagine if they could just release adrenaline.
And look, you mentioned
norepinephrine, right? Yeah, norepinephrine right from the source, right? Exactly, Max. Hit the button. Right.
Yeah. Like you mentioned, like a superhuman strength kind of.
Okay, brother. I have all those drugs. They gave it to me since I was 5. Right. I've got the narcotics. I've got the Adderall. I've got the Vyvanse at 70 milligrams every day. Yeah.
Angel dust is a drug that makes people have that superhuman strength effect too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just a little bit of
Yeah,
handle
but
dust.
I have the pain taken away, right, with the narcotics, and like that's what it's supposed to do, right? And I still have pain and shit like that. But I mean, but when I take, but for a while, like I'm invincible, like a soldier, right? Like for a little
Yeah.
while.
More tabs, opium, and that sort of thing to make you just feel that
Yeah,
too.
and I got a bunch of antibiotics here too, because it's good to have them on hand. Because with me, when something starts, sometimes it starts, they go really quick and aggressive at first. If I can just hit it with something. But you know what I mean? But the regular doctors, they know that. But doctors that know me, they're like, oh yeah, I have all this shit, man. Because they're like, oh yeah, you're like you've been on amphetamine your whole life. Yeah, it would make sense that you need all this crap, man, and you're still getting it, and you're gonna need to for your whole life, because you'll fall apart like a diabetic without any sugar, without amphetamine now.
Advanced
technology in the market. Was a big thing with these NFL teams.
Research and development.
Yeah, they can get a script for Adderall from every doctor. That's right, and they do it in the baseball too.
Well, they do it.
NFL was huge. It was huge in the NFL. Every single one of them had ADHD.
They were taking codeine for a while. That was the big. Brett Favre was big about the codeine. The New Orleans Saints got punished by the league for a thing where they were getting codeine from the team doctors and shit. Even the coaches. The coach Sean Payton, he got in trouble for that.
I would have thought they would have bravo for keeping it just codeine.
We won the fucking Super Bowl on that shit, bro. I know that was what.
I would have said, way to go. Probably wouldn't have damaged anybody's liver and didn't stand a possibility.
We had an average fucking team, bro, and we kicked ass. I know it was.
Before we get too far away from this, one of the key components, well, the biggest key component, was of me being healed, was that I had to believe I was healed.
Oh yeah,
and then
absolutely.
I was. So you have to believe it until you know it, and then you will be. And I keep hearing some news forecast or something in the background on somebody's channel. I hear another man's voice coming from nowhere.
I don't hear it.
Makes it hard to hear.
But here's their claim, Indy, is that they use the patch to transmit through your skin to your brain.
But that could be a drug too, like a nicotine.
They also have to believe that patch
is
going to work.
It's just a piece of plastic, pretty much, with some.
Oh wow, you're absolutely right.
Well, you know what else that reminds me of? You know, how they were selling those. Well, you might know more about like the copper wristbands and that sort of shit.
The Indian women wear them. They're very good at keeping away the pain from arthritis.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I just, I'm just being a little.
They wear them on their fingers. Yeah, it makes sense. I used to wonder what it was. I thought it was jewelry, and it's like, dude, it keeps away the pain from like when you're a secretary or anybody who has to use their hands all day, or gardening or anything. And
I just try to be careful and not give these motherfuckers too much credit, because, how easy would it be if they could come up with something they could slip in all our fucking food or put in the public water supply just to.
I think they did, and they tried it, and it worked as well as it worked for a while, and then like everything else, it wears off, because the human body is an unbelievable adaptive thing, and it likes to achieve balance. It has acids that come on. It has heat. It burns everything in the veins until it sticks to a very specific temperature and always runs the same, because it is an unbelievable thing. It is the most complex thing in the entire universe, the human body, and they don't know shit about it.
Yeah, like I was taking these supplements last week. Somebody sent me, and I usually don't take anything, but I think it's a B vitamin. It's benfotiamine.
Oh yeah, benfotiamine.
Dude, the first 2, 3, 4 days I took that shit, I felt amazing, bro. I was like, wow. I was like, this is great. And now I've been taking them for about a week, and it's like, oh, okay, I don't.
Yeah, that's called. Oh my God, gas station heroin, my friend.
Oh, is it?
That is Zaza.
Oh, okay. Yeah, dude, the first couple of days I was like, wow, this shit really works.
Yeah, Zaza, bro. What you just described to me was Zaza. Like dictionary, open it up, turn the page.
Here's where they are now, Indie Group, is now if they can get graphene in your body with all the devices that are around us, they can monitor all of these things here on the left as non-invasive applications, and on the right here, or sorry, on the left, they have invasive applications. And you know, there's some really disturbing ones here, like neural stimulation, muscle stimulation. You know,
doesn't that sound just like MRI? Like kind of what happens in the MRI, where you drink something and it gives you that. I guess it's got to be something like metal particles or some. That's how they read the information in your body. I bet you that's just an extension of like MRI technology.
I wonder if it just ups your
fire. Technology. It's the exact same type of technology.
Yeah.
I wonder if it increases your signal in your body or their ability to read you. You know what I mean? Like with the regular thing they have normally. It's like, you know, it's like, oh, well, we upped his 4G technology ability to read him. So,
well, yeah, they're spraying in the skies, right? So what they need is particulates on your skin.
Yes, you got it.
Then from the skin, they can get into your body with 108.2 megahertz is the frequency.
Yep.
0.5 or something.
Yeah, I like it. I understand how that works with the vibration and the you know what I mean, the thing coming in a wave. And it's like, it needs to be going like that, and it's going to match it.
We're breathing it in. We're getting it in our body, so they can test your gastrointestinal. They can check your heart rate, your respiration, oxygen levels, all of that. Right. Even with just basic Doppler radar, they are already detecting every movement you do.
I augment mine. You know what I mean, like with my medications, right? Like mine gets augmented, like so severely. You know what I mean, like right, like all the time. It's like you know, like so it's what it's used to, but at the same time,
well, the readings would still be accurate.
Like, you realize every like 6 hours, this guy's doing something to make it go.
Oh yeah.
Boom, boom.
My mom used to have ulcers, and they had her on a medicine called Augmentin. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, by spraying like this nanodust shit from the sky, right? It's basically
because the ulcers are considered holes. Augmentin, got it.
Yeah.
It's coating everything, right? So it makes everything part of the sensing field. Now, there's definitely got to be a difference between eating, drinking, or even breathing in this stuff, because the body does have natural ways. Like that effect would definitely be way more temporary, or they would have to completely keep saturating you externally, as opposed to if they inject you with this shit and it gets in your bloodstream. If something goes directly in your bloodstream, you don't have the same natural filtering mechanisms in place. So I think that's why they were pushing that. That's why the people are so worse off with it in their bloodstream than even if they coat us from the skies. They have to keep doing that shit, I think.
If you were able to get it into the bloodstream, you would have better control. Avoid talking about the other thing, okay?
And it would last longer.
Yeah. So yeah, but that's what they're doing now, and they need to control the brain. You would need a lot of graphene in there. The problem is graphene is damaging too, so
that's why
really not a good option. But they don't mind experimenting with it.
Yeah.
You know?
It certainly gets a connect. Like, but I mean, but what you can to optimize what they're trying to do. It's not the final. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not,
like they can use your bloodstream and your biofield and your chakra system for parts of it, but
because there is a big
difficult.
Yeah, they can bounce things off us. They can use the tower, right, Max? Yeah. They can use the tower.
Go ahead, there.
Yeah, there's a big difference between a sensing level technology.
Yeah.
Versus a control technology. For them to have the control, they got to get that shit in you. And it's got to be in all those places of the brain in order to stimulate and actually be able to control a person. But yeah, simple sensing technology, they can do all that shit externally. Yeah. They're doing that with our cell phones right now.
Yeah. It's suggestive technology is one way to look at it, right? Suggestive. Right. And that's what it makes sense how you break that, right? It's like, oh, they've got to, like they said, like the peeing on the fence thing. Like, yeah, right now they're suggesting to me maybe like I get a drink or I'm thirsty or I'm not thirsty or you know what I mean, whatever they want to do, right? And it's
they do a lot of mood augmentation.
That's what I think.
But if you're aware, that's where awareness can be like a natural defense mechanism. Also, if you know that you're having thoughts that you shouldn't be experiencing, you know something's wrong, you wouldn't be so.
Yeah, and the company you have to know yourself.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, because they're generally they don't send positive thoughts. So if you're having negative thoughts, you can assume that they're being augmented or pushed by them.
Yeah.
Certain hurts are just negative. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Certain hurts are just like a natural dirge to your mind.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about, right, Max? Like certain hurts, certain waves that they can send are just naturally going to make you depressed.
Yeah, between 10 and 20 hertz, those ones are actually very bad for us in most cases. But there was an experiment done, apparently. I only heard brief rumors about this, but 4 years ago, people heard in their minds, it's okay, just take it. And I don't know, I don't believe it was voice to skull because they have that perfected. It was probably a different type of technology they were experimenting with.
I think that would be back, Matt. I think that would be put behind music. I think that would be put behind a lot of media, Max. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
Well, people thought it was in their own thoughts, like it was their own.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Probably transmitting it straight up on a radio frequency. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, like what I would consider in the ultraviolet or whatever frequency, the radio though, but whatever sound is ultraviolet, right? Definitely.
Bluetooth, Zigbee, and ANT right now are three systems they use to get into your body. So it's probably one of those.
Have y'all ever had y'all's phone just randomly turn on like the Bluetooth shit?
Yeah.
Like mine's always off, but sometimes I'll be checking my shit, my little pull down menu, and the fucking Bluetooth's on. I'm like, I didn't turn that shit on. So yeah.
Well, it can be because of some apps you open. Like I've got an app that opens up Bluetooth, but I made sure that I set it to turn the Bluetooth off after it's closed.
Yeah.
Some apps won't do that.
I don't do too much out of the ordinary on my phone day to day. Yeah.
I got a thing that says there's an update, but I'm afraid to take it because it's like I don't know that I'm supposed to get an update on my phone from Roger.
No,
you know what I mean?
I never do updates. Nah, let's say fuck you. I'm not doing that shit.
Yeah, it's like I don't think like nothing was wrong with my phone. I just got it. It's like for all I know, that can be used by anybody to say, you know, to get in my phone completely. As if I just said, yeah, go ahead, dude, get right in my phone. You know, like look it up. Like
that's why I don't download just new apps anymore. Like my electric company wanted me to download an app, and I'm like, no.
I like go online, I think, and maybe like say, is this a real upgrade thing? But I mean, I don't. Oh, I can call the 800 number on the phone. Hey, is this one of your updates, right? And probably they'll say, give us the number off or something, you know?
Well,
but no, it is. Don't ever accept that.
They always try to screw us with terms of service where we just click agree and then all of a sudden they're fucking selling our data from out from under it. So no, I don't add just random terms of service anymore. So they fucking themselves by misusing their, you know.
Yeah, like, unless I require the upgrade, I'm really not interested. I'm currently happy with the service I've got. I just found all the block things that it had on it, and I was able to block. Remember that I was upset a person came here and was doing that thing. I hadn't been able to block for like so long with the last phone, and then I got this one, and it wasn't on it at first. Yeah. And then, you know what I mean? Like after a while, it was. So I mean, I don't know if features were on it that had to come in, you know what I mean? But it then had block numbers, right? You know, and other stuff too.
I think
Go ahead.
I think the settings can change when the updates come through.
Yeah, they'll do that. I was going to say, like, Facebook and Google are bad about that. After you do an update from them at any time, you better go check your privacy settings again because they're always going to flip them off. And once they, especially that sync data, they'll sync your fucking data before you even have a chance to turn it off. It's fucking criminal what they fucking do, bro. So sneaky.
Yeah. I'm constantly getting notifications that my sync isn't complete or whatever because you know what they do with that is that it's hogging up space on your device because you've got the things on your device and they're syncing it on the cloud, but for some reason that's still also taking up your space. And then the sooner they can take up all your space, the sooner they can start harassing you like me with notifications about buying more space.
Yeah, but the cloud,
get a fucking dime out of me. I'll delete everything.
Isn't the cloud just above us? Like, what's her name?
No, no.
Yeah, you saw
Remember?
that.
Your dad in the cloud. Put the dad in the cloud. Just buy
You know?
more
Oh, I see
space.
what you're saying.
In the cloud.
You can buy more space in the cloud. I get them
Uh-huh.
too. I get them too. They're from Chrome. Mine.
Oh, I took all that. I don't use no
I
Google.
was
Yeah.
debating finally taking the commercials off today. Okay, I was watching these shows and the commercials kept on
Yeah,
coming
they just
on. Right?
want to-
Normally they don't bug me, but today they were getting to me.
Brave browser, bro. No, I use Brave. Fuck all these ads, bro.
Yeah.
I can't deal with it.
420, guys.
Ah,
Right.
Puff it for me, bro. I ain't got shit. I'm sitting there puffing on a little tobacco.
I got some nice black hash.
I've got the GMO cookies that I bought earlier, and it higher THC than the last. I mean, just by like a point and a couple 1.2 or like these ones are 30.4 or whatever, which is a fine THC level, right? For
Yeah, I have to go light on the edibles because they put me on the couch.
yeah. So
I
oh,
just
not
don't do
cookies.
it
I
well
mean,
with
they're
that.
called GMO. They're called GMO cookies. But what it is it's like it's weed. Like I got like
Yeah, we got that.
yeah, and I really like the God Kush that I did have. I mean, I finished that off earlier today or last night.
I
Wow.
had God Bud before.
Oh, you had some?
Yeah, I think I've had that. Yeah. God Bud, it was called.
Yes. God, yes. Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, it's all lined up in there. Eh? Yeah, you can see that. Right on.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, they're the classic. It's GMO cookies, right? Oh, here. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Red hairs.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love the red hairs.
The smell is absolutely delicious. Like it's my favorite. You know what I mean? Like this is my favorite. You know, like I look at how many I've got. Like just sitting here from like I got like this one here, I've got another one here, and this one's got like another like still in it, right? Like so yeah. It's been good. It's been good lately, right? Like
Oh, wedding cake. Yeah, that's a good one.
oh, wedding cake's good. Yeah.
God.
That's wild. Like.
I like Gorilla Glue was one I
Yes.
like. I like the
Yeah.
Kush stuff. Especially OG Kush is my favorite.
Yeah. Okay, I'll show it to you.
Yeah, I
Right,
was thinking
right,
get out of my head.
right here.
Yeah.
This is it. This is it right here. And I got 3 Saints. I have it too. Or
Yeah, Pure Sun Farms. Yeah, I get those. We can get that. That's a popular brand up here.
oh yeah, Pure Sun Farms. Yeah. Oh, that's I've got my my tray is Pure Sun Farms as well.
Yeah.
Like Pure Sun Farms. Yeah, and that's the
Yep.
God. Like I don't have any more because I smoked it all. But hey, what was I gonna do now? Hey, like I've got my GMO cookie. Like that's that package or whatever.
Yeah, he's always got lots of bud.
Yeah, I was looking for that 3 Saints, and then I find it. You know what I mean? I was gonna say, here's that.
It's good to have a lot in reserve. I've got.
Yeah, like look at this. Well, you don't gotta look. But I mean, if you want, like the 3 Saints.
Yeah.
What is that? Like it's Kush cookies. Oh, sorry, it's not the God Kush.
Oh, yeah.
It's the Kush cookies, but it's at like 30% or whatever. Like that's the thing, right? I like my shit like right at 30%. Before I was happy with it being at like 26, 27, 28. I mean, I'll still take something if it's like that. But I mean, I like it at
34% is about the highest I've seen, like in bud.
yeah. I think 36. They're the animal cookies. I mean, pardon me. The animal runts that I get. They were the one came down at 36. Just awesome, but it's often at 32 as well. opposed. So, you know what I mean? I love it when it's definitely, when it's usually at, 30 or like just 29 something, like 29.6 or, that's what's cool about the ones that stabilize at that. I know what you're saying about having the stuff in reserve because, like, I
have a couple of ounces, some shake bags,
Yeah, like
I smoke the shit out of it when I get it.
Like I got, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I like that.
Morgan always has like about corner store amounts,
Yeah.
You could open up a little shop there,
Yeah.
I have to admit, I've been back here eating Mexican shortbread cookies.
Oh, damn you.
I know. Gluten free. They're wonderful. Oh.
Sounds nice. I love sugar bread.
So I had.
No. The thing is, I looked at my weed, right? And the thing is, like, it's different weed for different times, for different purposes. Like, it really is,
Yeah.
And that's the thing, right? Like like certain weeds over there, there's certain times where like I choose to smoke that more than one of these because it's what I'm trying. It's what I'm. Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's a prime example of everything we talk about as far as like the economy and all this kind of shit, and the country's all like we got all this money invested in AI technologies, all this bullshit, right? But if we really just dug into and really fully utilized what we could get out of hemp and the weed products, even the food angle of it, and
the paper,
it could support whole everything.
On the hemp clothing, right?
Hemp for clothes, hemp for oil.
Local factory, right? For job locally, you know what I mean? Doesn't even have to be. High school can do it part time.
Into wallboard.
Yeah, quality clothing, right? Mix it with cotton, even. Don't mix your fabrics. No, but I'm saying.
They say like those.
Whatever.
Well, I used to say if they would just legalize weed, they could fix the economy if they took all the money they were making from it to pay off the deficit. They could fix the deficit.
I think they fixed everything a million times with with the resources that we have in Canada. Like we would make a million other countries rich if they just had one of our resources, but we have 1,000 different resources. So, like, they have to keep us down. You know what I mean? Like they have to do stuff to keep us individually, down as opposed to because we're so wealthy, right?
Well, they run on debt here, and so they have to keep us in debt. So whatever debt Trump supposedly cleared, they've taken that and just shit all over it. Now we're even more in debt than before because this whole damn country or the whole entire world system runs on debt. You can't be a slave if there's not debt. We're debt slaves.
And they make the debt holders the non-beneficiaries of all these investments. Like a war is a prime example. Like there's certain people get rich off of the war efforts, but we're all in debt for that. Fuck you, bro.
They fund both sides of every war.
They spend all that money when it's like they could make it with that much money. They could make everybody rich. But the point is, there's not that much money. It's like, well, what do you mean by that? Oh, wait, okay, there's that much paper that we could make. But the point is, there's only a limited amount of resources that money can buy anyway. So at the point that those resources, and that used to be the thing, that used to be the problem anyway. So when we had enough food, like an abundance of everything, that like really there was no more problem. It was only just a matter
of scarcity. They've imposed scarcity on
it's a false scarcity because I've seen the videos where they throw out entire what do you call them? Those big trash cans that are out behind businesses. What are those big huge things called?
Dumpsters.
I know they're called bins, but
dumpsters full of packaged cheese, sliced cheese, chunk cheese, blah, 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 but they didn't sell. And all that plastic, along with that cheese, that waste, is going to go fill the landfill now.
Yep.
Every day. All day.
There's
yeah, like the
plenty.
McDonald's.
So there
With
is
the
no
security guard
scarcity.
saying, "Get away from that trash."
We
Not
would
everyone.
pre-make the food to put in the bins at McDonald's, right? So when people come in, there's a cheeseburger.
Yeah, they lock
waiting
it
on
up. Yep.
After 15, 20 minutes, all that shit goes in the garbage if it ain't bought up in 15, 20
Yep.
minutes.
And then you make everything disposable, or so it won't last. Planned obsolescence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that you have to keep buying cheap plastic crap over and over again.
I remember thinking today, am I supposed to get that crappy thing? And I was like, no, you're not supposed to go to fucking, pardon me for this. I said, you are not supposed to go to McDonald's, Morgan, and buy fries and a burger, you know, even though you have, you know, the money in your pocket, and you could, but you have food at home. You know what I mean? Like, I've got what I need. So I said to myself, it's a treat, but the thing is, it's not a treat at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Well,
I
food at
go, like,
home's always better.
Well, they
yeah,
taught
so
us
I
it
said to
was a
myself,
treat, but it's not.
I used
Unless
to be
you're going out for fine
really,
dining or something, you know.
yeah,
used
I
to
said,
eat
let's
out
keep it a
all the
treat.
fucking time,
Like, keep
dude.
it an actual treat. Don't make it like part of my diet. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
It is incredibly bad for you for the money.
That's the thing too.
Yeah.
It's like, even if you just like, I used to love just to get some fries from McDonald's every
well,
now
that
and
would,
then, right?
and then when it would cost me like
They're not good for
$7
you.
as well, just to get the burger and the fries, if not more. Like, you know what I mean? And that's the other thing. It wouldn't just be $5 for you to get the burger and fries anymore. It's like
You
at
know how
McDonald's,
they
$7.
prepare their fries. They half cook them and then they soak them in sugar water and then they
Yeah.
freeze them. Send them to your McDonald's. They throw them in
Yeah.
a fast fry. All that sugar comes out, all golden brown, and voila.
Mm,
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
delicious.
They used to say that McDonald's had the best fries. I'd go to like if I
Addicting.
wasn't in the mood for a Big Mac, I'd go to I'd go to Burger King
It's the
and get a
scent and
Whopper,
everything.
and then go to McDonald's and get my fries. They weren't far
Yeah.
from
No,
each
they're
other.
addicting. Yeah, and they plan it.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's
Not the only one.
beetle that infests those potatoes that they spray for. So they're doused with chemicals.
Hmm.
I've
Well-
consumed a lot of chemicals just from McDonald's alone, and
Because if they don't do it, then the potatoes end up with that brown line around the outside, like
yeah.
Yeah.
you know. So they don't want that, so they have to spray chemicals on it so that doesn't happen.
Keep it bleached.
Yeah.
It's a bleaching agent.
No. It's
No?
before it's before it's processed in the ground.
Oh,
They put enough chemical on it to kill beetles that burrow into it.
oh, wow.
Wow.
Well, Bill Gates has bought up a lot of potato.
Yeah.
Oh, he fouls up everything he touches because he's foul. I call him Fauci.
They cut off the water to Idaho
Yeah.
farmers.
Yeah, they're testing things.
Well, there's supposedly a cobalt deposit there that they want
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
saving the water for that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually
To
something
frack it?
like that.
To frack it?
to
No,
mine cobalt.
process it. So they're going to probably, like they do in Africa, we get 1,000 people over here to dig it up. You know,
Yeah.
by
Well, I think the
hand,
water-
which is-
To sleuth it, not to actually destroy the wall in order to, like, no, Morgan, not to smash the wall with the water, but to sleuth what comes
Yeah.
out, what the sludge
yeah,
from the
to
wall. Yeah, I
separate
got
it out. Yeah.
Yeah, they suck it in and then they
Right.
separate it later.
Yeah.
They separate the minerals from the water instead of dry separation. But I think they want to run the farmers out of their business to buy the land and then have the rights to mine the farmland.
Oh,
underneath
right.
it.
Because the farmers would have many acres out there because they would have bought it. You know what I mean? Like that's what the packages would have
Yeah,
been sold.
that's the bigger.
Large packages of 100 acres at least, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, big.
Yeah.
Big. Yep.
I bet the properties don't come any less than that.
Yep.
And you got,
Well,
you got
right.
Google is.
Yeah.
What's that?
Scotty says, if I don't cook it, I don't eat it. That's
Yeah.
a great way to go.
Yeah, that's where I'm at today.
Oh yeah, definitely for a while now.
And not only the food, I have to question the cooks and the wait
Yeah.
staff. I do. Same.
I admit I do like going out for a steak, but that's me.
Nobody makes steak better than I do, so I can't even go somewhere for a steak. I got to do it myself at home.
Well, I like doing that because people make steaks different every place.
I just have
true.
I have a soft spot for fucking Waffle House. Sometimes I just need them fucking hash browns and
Yeah, I get that.
oh.
No, I took myself out the other week. Like, well, I mean, no, it was like maybe like 2 months ago. But I mean, I went to Wendy's and fucking got the Baconator or whatever, and some fries or whatever. And I mean, even though I knew that was going to be like you know what I mean, it's going to be a little less than $10 or whatever. You know what I mean? But the thing, like, it's so stupid. But that's the thing, like with burgers now, they're like $5 and with the tag or whatever, like at least $5, if not, if not like $6 and something with after the tax. In Canada, like that's what they are, right, Max? Like $5 a burger, right?
It's around 6 to 8.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow,
Even more.
that's cheap.
Like, I'm scared to say the price.
Not fair.
That's what how come I can't even say what they really are? It's like because I can't believe it that it's like no, actually, you're gonna need more than that $5 bill to get that burger at any other place. And like meaning you can get the McDouble or whatever at McDonald's. You know what I mean, off the value menu for like I think $3.50 or $3.78. You know what I mean, something like that, right? But that's the cheapest burger in town, right? Like, that's the deal burger or whatever. But I don't get that anymore anyway. You know what I mean? Like that. If I go to McDonald's, I'll get one of those. But I remember this is like over the last couple of years. I went in and tried to order it, and the women tried to not let me get it. No, we don't have the value menu. No, we don't have. I'm sitting there going, I'd like the burger that is, and they wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? Until like I forget what I had to do. I had to get another person to come to the table, to take the other person, had to leave, and the other person came up, and I was like, I would like the value. I like the value burger or whatever, and they were like, I like the McDouble, and they were like, yeah. So she wouldn't give it to me because I was calling it the value burger. You know what I mean? I just realized that right now. You know what I mean? Like it's like, oh wait, I was probably doing the same thing in that moment too.
The problem is now they make up for it by they just charge you $3 for a fucking drink now.
Yeah.
Well, I never buy the drinks ever.
Yeah.
Richard, you're right. Soup is underrated. We make soups here all the time.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we just made a great one. Yeah, we cook at home. We're happier.
Dave's triple combo, $15.
Yep, that's what we pay here.
Nothing is better than home
burger and
cooking.
fries, $15.
Don't know how to cook, learn.
Like, how horrible did I feel like crying? You're like, wait, your chest tightened, Morgan, when she went, yeah, at McDonald's, it's $15 for a burger and fries. It's just that it used to be a thing growing up to go to McDonald's and get food. Like, I mean, not all the time, but like sometimes. And then I'd go a little bit more frequently because I could afford it when I was older. But I mean, and then like 5-6 years ago, I stopped going. Like,
probably for the best, but
yeah, exactly. But I mean.
Yeah, they can price us out of that crap. I'm
fine
fine with that.
You like, right?
Yeah, price us out of it. I don't care.
It's too much money now, anyway. No, like that's what I mean. Like it was. That's the thing too. It doesn't hurt to not spend the money. You know what I mean? Like,
not on that.
But that's part of it too, right? Ouch, because it used. That's the other thing too. It used to be, hey, for the change in my pocket, I'm getting a burger or whatever. A burger and fries. It's. Especially especially for a little while, the toonie was still in. It's like, oh, I got a toonie and a loony, right? I'm gonna go and the McDouble or whatever, like $1.90, whatever, and then the fries. I think even like 10 years ago it was like 97 cents, or maybe it was $1. No, off the value menu it was 97 cents. So yeah, you could go with $3 and get a burger and fry at McDonald's.
But the thing is back in the day, even if you were spending $3 for a value meal, when you would get that burger and fries, it tasted the same every time, and it was good quality. Like you got what you paid for it.
Oh yeah.
Now they charge you $10, and it don't taste right. That's why I stopped eating out those places.
Oh, that's the other thing, brother. It's not exactly the same thing every time. Sometimes it's kind of like a thing. Sometimes it's kind of like a little thing. Sometimes it's kind of like a more child broiled thing. Yeah. I get what you're saying too.
I was always
it's not the
getting
same
this
thing
feeling.
we get.
Like if I was eating anything meat based, the shit didn't even taste like meat.
Oh, it's
That's why I
probably
stopped
not.
going. Yeah,
Half-
I stopped
it's
going
half
because-
soy.
There was a Teeny
Yeah.
Harvey's that was at a gas station. It was just like this one lady with this, like she had a little fry thing and a fryer for the burgers and that.
Yeah, yeah.
Best
That's the
burger
best
ever.
one.
Best
Yep.
burger ever. I went to other ones. I couldn't get the same flavor at all.
Like
Real
truck
meat.
stop cafe type shit. That's the only really good place you can find
Yeah.
good food. Yep.
Mhm. Yeah, no, they put. Well, we know that Taco Bell stuffs wood pulp.
Cellulose.
pulp.
Yep.
Yeah, wood pulp, and yes, in their meats, in their tacos.
Yeah.
I
It's all-
was never a big
Well,
Taco
there's
Bell
wood
guy, but I
pulp
love
in
Mexican
Parmesan
food.
Me either.
There can be. I used to make
Parmesan cheese.
Parmesan cheese. We don't put wood. We didn't put wood pulp in it, but we did put a couple of powders to keep it separated, and some to make it smell good, and some to preserve it.
Oh wow, I'm coughing off that.
But at least wood is
So
natural.
just buy the block of cheese and shred it yourself. Okay.
Yep, that's what I do.
Yeah.
I don't
I
buy
thought
shredded cheese. That's another one. You're
Yeah.
right.
Don't
Yeah,
buy.
that Red Ryan's.
They coat
Like
it.
homemade
They
cheese,
coat it
yeah.
in something. Yeah.
Ever feel like you get effed by your weed, like your joint, and you're like, oh, that's good.
All the time.
I know. Like, it's like that when I first get like weed, or I test it like that. You know what I mean? It's like you got to get it that first time, and then you can like back off. You know, but I mean, you got to make sure it can do that when you need it to. You know, it's like, wow.
I just don't like the shit that burns up too quick.
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah. Exactly. I can't. Yeah, man. When it's sitting there, it's like burning up. I know.
Yeah.
Ugh. Sativa will do that to you. You know what I mean? Like, not all the time, but you know what I'm saying? It'll do it to you more than the indicas.
That is
Yeah,
true.
light
Indicas are
fluffy
more
shit,
dense.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like the dense shit.
You know when you get them doobies that like all of a sudden get to that one point, if it was big enough, and it's like you're like, whoa, is that going down anymore? You know what I mean? But you're toking it
Yeah.
because
Well,
it's just
you're
going
very
down at
high.
a time.
It's the forever
Time has slowed
joint.
down.
Yeah.
Right. Well, like,
Yeah,
I
you
got
had
the
that,
sweats
never
on.
had that roach that wouldn't end. You know, it was just
Yeah.
all resin, and it just kept.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Oh man, that toke was so big, and now it's having that. You mean that speedball effect when the ball hits you? You know what I mean? The narcotic ball, but even though it's not counted as a narcotic, right? But
Yeah.
Yeah, the American cheese. That's
Get top of your head tingles.
Yeah. The first couple times I got high, I would walk around outside and it seemed like
Right.
a real different reality, but it doesn't
Yes.
now. It is just my reality. But yeah,
I know what you're
yeah, it was different. Yeah, it was different.
Like
I
when you
can
would
do
break
that.
up with an abusive person and then you step outside and you go, wow.
Yeah.
It's all new and shiny and it's
Yep.
like you're in a whole new world because you're finally free and you can breathe again. Yeah.
LSD will do that too.
I was just going to say,
Yeah.
I would do that deliberately often. I would deliberately change, knowing that I was going to change where I was, and deliberately
Shrooms.
trip. Like I had a part of growing up like that. Like when people were like meaning me and my friends, like even though we weren't 1969 or whatever, we certainly did what they did in '69, and some people said like you guys probably hit it a bit harder too, just because you could get access to the things more, as opposed to it being like on a whim or like like a little bit here or there at the festival. You guys had guys around you selling it all the time, but we still enjoyed it. You know what I mean? Like I don't think we like the LSD. I really loved it.
Mm-hmm. I did too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got nothing bad to say about it.
yeah.
Didn't do it a lot. I
No.
probably, I did it about 10 to 12 times. That's about it.
Mhm.
I did it more than that.
Yeah.
I had friends that did it daily for a couple of years.
A couple 100 times.
Yeah, that's something I think you had to limit yourself because there is strychnine in it.
Oh
No, like I only like took enough to like, you know, fully trip out. Like, you know what I mean? I went like, well, probably like, you know, like 10, like maybe like 10 or 15 times, like on acid, you know what I'm saying? Like where it's like, hey, I did the thing where I'm going to take a dose with somebody or whatever, or myself. Yeah. Like I did that probably like, 10 to like 15 times. And I mean, and probably like from 15, some of those were like shroom trips, like, but large ones where you're like, I'm going to take like 10 or 12 grams of these shroom. Oh no, I thought like, oh no, like I visited sexual trauma. Like when I'm going to go ahead and tell you, it went and it took me into sexual trauma when I was a child, right? And then took me into it to heal me from it or whatever. You know, it wasn't like, oh no, like I knew it was happening, right? But it went and it threw me into it, and made me deal with. I think it's like whatever the other thing, like, you know what I mean? Like just said, you're gonna like, you know, you gotta finish this, but it's like
you found resolution in your head.
You can handle it, like you know, like because it feels depressing. You know what I mean? And you feel, but you don't hurt yourself. You know what I mean? Like you're not feeling like, oh, I'm gonna. But that's what it didn't want you to do. You know what I mean? In the first place, so it said, I'll give this to you years later. You know, if you open up the door again, you know, when you can handle it. And that's something that they know shrooms does that too, you know. And, but yeah, man, I totally went there. And,
I agree, Richard.
And then like, you know, but then when you go through it though, you certainly like you move, it helps you move on more or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like everybody moves on to a certain extent, but when you go through that, it helps you like, you know, move on more, I guess. I think it did.
Yeah, helped you find some resolutions.
Yeah.
Hi, Elderberry. Yeah, 3.5 hours, not 3 hours.
Like you aren't the person who you are now without everything that you've been through. So, like that, you know, just things like that.
I want to be who I was before the shit changed me. That's what I want.
Well, you can be.
That was my prayer when I was 3.
But unfortunately, you have a mission.
Clearly, I do.
You could be that person for a time, or for short times.
I want to be restored to the joy that I had when I just loved life, you know? And I was like, hey, I like being alive.
You can practice and experience that in small waves, small times, and then it gets more and more. You know, find the things like of your childhood, like go out and play with an ant's nest. Go, you know, go do something you did when you were a child. You know, go play in the woods. Go play with a toy. You know, draw something. Something makes you feel young.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what. That's the same signals that I got, man. It was like watch that cartoon you want to watch or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Watch that G.I. Joe and enjoy it, you know. And it's like, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I really enjoy this, and it's like, yeah. And there's other things that you like a lot that you deliberately don't check out because they're from your childhood that you deliberately went and closed the door on. Except there's a lot of things in there that can give you, you know what I'm saying, like a lot of stress relief, you know, joy.
Yeah. For me, the easiest is woods. Going to the woods. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say, like all the stuff I do musically is what I used to sit in my room when I was 12, 13, 14 years old and dream and just not even wish I could do it because I didn't know how, but if I could do anything at that age, it would be what I'm doing right now. So that's definitely.
I thought you meant playing the guitar. I thought you meant like with the guitar in your hands, playing guitar, practicing.
Like musical with the keyboard.
Yeah, well, just even these sounds, all these sounds are the sounds of my childhood, dude, and that's why I do what I do. It's my childhood, bro.
Oh God, yeah, the sounds we were introduced to. Different sounds came with all the shows and all the music that we had.
Yeah.
Oh,
like imagine the triggering memories that you could have from those. Like
the olfactory senses stimulated again.
They did.
It's another thing. You know, it's another thing like that that's just ongoing. I mean, not ongoing. Like
it never ends. Like the ice, how much sound Max we were exposed to in the media, right? Like how many files, like, you know what I mean? How many riffs, how many keyboard, all the commercials, Max, like, you know what I mean? Like when people think of the catalogs and catalogs, and then because we also got everything played back from the 60s, everything that was recorded, right? Anything that was recorded on digital and in the 70s, and a lot of it we heard more than once or twice. Like, you know what I mean? Like multiple
times.
They
didn't experiment with people. They took them and they surrounded them with an environment from the past, from their past, like they were from the 50s was their childhood, in the 70s, and what they found was it actually made them younger.
Yeah.
They were listening to old music, listening in the same environment as when they were a kid, and it actually changed them. So
they were doing that with Alzheimer's patients in nursing homes, and they were actually getting people to respond, and they would start singing along and dancing to the music and smiling and the whole nine.
Right, because the rest of the things from the same file begin to open beside it, right? Yeah.
Something weird about that. And the whole sound healing, and there's something to that too, right?
Yeah. Every weekend now I listen to songs from the 70s and 80s. You know, just as a refresher for my brain. It really does feel good, you know.
And you know what? And just the recording techniques alone, the music made, we'll just call it the 20th century before everything was fully computer playback and digitalized.
Yeah.
Those recordings actually do capture the air and the space within the room of the time period that they were. So when you're listening to that now, you are hearing the old sound. You're hearing everything about that time.
Yeah.
And clearly,
and they actually recorded most of it at once, not like, you know, this loop playing.
Yeah.
So, you know what song has been stuck in my mind is "Baby Come Back." I know it's maybe an old one, too old for you guys.
No, I remember it.
It was used in the commercial.
Oh, they probably used it. Sure.
Back when men could admit when they were wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can blame it all on me. Yeah. Anyway, but that was the era. That was kind of the end of the era of authentic recording, and then you're right. It just went into digital. Let's play the bass line, because I did some recording for people throughout the years. I'd play. A measure is 8 beats, so I'd play a measure or 2 measures of my bass line, and they would just loop that through the through the verse, and then I'd play the chorus. They'd loop it. Yeah.
I ain't stupid. I'm just looping.
Yeah.
But at least even with that, it still is recording, even though it is that short period of time. That real time captured is in that recording, even though it's looping. Really,
when I go to record, Buddy would just put in one track, and then I'd say bring it to the beginning, right, and let it play in the earphones, right, like at the same time, and then I'd do the next track over top of it, and be like, how do you do that, right, with the perfect timing? And I'd say, well, it's my song, right? I wrote it, you know. But yeah, I can sing my own song in a different octave and all that stuff, and it goes right along with it. I did that, like, you know what I mean? I can like track recording or whatever.
It's just like a picture, like if you got a JPEG or you take a photo and you put it on your computer. Anytime you view that image or anytime you play back that MP3, it's just playing back the data. It's not actually playing back that recording. All the nuances in it, because you lose information when it gets digitized. You're losing those empty spaces. All that shit gets cleaved out. But those analog recordings, even if they make it to a CD at that point and you play it back digitally, then that information is still in there of the air in the room and all that shit. If it's recorded at any point in time, if there's an analog capture in there, and that's definitely what's missing from.
Yeah, there was a Beatles song that had a skip in it, and I forget which one it is, and it was in the actual recording.
Yeah,
and you don't hear it on the playback version now.
Yeah, they probably fix that shit.
Yeah.
The Day in the Life?
You might have been, yeah. I don't know. Might have been on that album. I don't remember what song it was.
Yeah, that song has a lot of clips in it.
Yeah, it
Different
really does.
parts. It really does.
Yeah.
It was actually really genius for the time. It really was a genius piece. Mhm. Even though it wasn't real, it was good.
My head.
Yeah. Even though it was a CIA op, I still appreciate it for what it was.
Well, isn't it even amazing though, like what we know about all these recording artists and the music and even the entertainment and the movies, right? We know that a lot of these people were kind of planted in place and they're sons of army personnel.
Yep.
But all in all, they still made some great shit.
Yeah.
There's some really good stuff.
Oh my goodness! Like dude.
Yeah, well, they had to have gotten it. They stole it from people, right? They had writers and stuff.
Well,
And they've had AI
all of it
since the 50s.
it was something else.
They've had AI since the 50s, like of the type that we're playing with now. So they could have written songs easily with AI.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's hard telling how they pulled some of the massive hits coming out at the time.
Brave New World. You guys you guys know Brave New World, right? Heimold Watson, right? The character in that, Bernard Marx's friend.
Yeah.
And he worked at the jingles from the Ministry of of song or whatever, right? And how that was the thing. He wanted to do something real, right? But he knew it wasn't allowed, right? And in the end, he got shipped off to Greenland or whatever. Anyway, like Iceland, I guess. Iceland, right? Yeah, Iceland. Bernard was scared about it, but Heimold, he was all excited about it, right? Because he was going to at least meet other people like himself. Eccentric, type, even though, and the thing is, he'd already spent his life sleeping with women, so many women. And I mean, I get it, to a certain point, like, yeah, but I understand, too, if some guy's, 35, it's like, look, I've slept with 10,000 frigging women, it's like, I think I'd like to go read a goddamn book, but that was his thought, right? I want to go read a book and discuss it with people because he couldn't do that in society. So he was excited about going to Iceland to be able to do that, right? And that's what the director was sending him. But Bernard was just all freaking out and everything.
Yeah, Kat, have a great shower and know that you might be picking up some data. Or shedding data. Sometimes I'll go in there blue and I'll come out feeling much better. Mm-hmm.
I mean, poor John. I always hated what happened to John. You know what I mean? The Savage Reservation.
I mean, I think about even just technology.
I would love to live in water. I need a pool of my own.
I'd love to have a swim pool. That's on my bucket list.
Yeah, I know, right? Just my own little pool. And then when you're in there, you're just in your own little world.
You get a kiddie pool and a copper wire.
Pool. Huh?
Get a kiddie pool and hook copper wire to it. Put it in the ground.
Oh, eventually we're going to move from this trailer park into his mom's house because when she passes, we're supposed to inherit it. But when we get there, I'm getting me a pool. I'm getting me a little.
There you
go. I'm
I know it's good for the joints and everything. Low impact.
Yeah.
Really good movement. Yeah. I just go to the Y.
I just want to float in the water like a sensory deprivation tank. I just want to float in the water and just be free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a pool when I was young. Didn't really use it that much, but you can use it really relaxing. Just floating in the water and all that.
Yeah. Just weightless. Wow.
Much better than a public pool too. A little less urine and stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Lot less urine, but also peaceful.
Yeah.
And you don't have all of their energy going out into the water and soaking.
That's right. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to admit though, I'm still holding out for a sauna. That's my piece.
Okay.
My zen is to sit in a sauna.
I do love a steam bath. That's one of my favorite things.
Steam sauna. Yes. Yeah. That you pour water on the rocks.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. I know. I imagine they brought you so where's the rock? Oh, it's not the rock one. It's electronic. Oh, fuck! I want the damn rock.
Well, I've steamed up the bathroom quite a lot.
So you have to go swimming after the
I
sauna.
gotta pour that steam on the rocks.
That's true. You build up,
I
and
gotta
then you
have
jump.
oh
in
my
cold
goodness!
water.
I just did it. I was just in the sauna. Like I could feel it in my chest. I could feel it all around. Right? You know what I'm saying? Right? I could taste it. Like I was just in the sauna.
In your mind, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
you can do it in your mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lay down in bed and just put
my
yourself
body
in the
started
sand.
physically reacting too. I'm gonna do it again, man. I wonder
Sounds
how I
like
did
you're
that.
ready for
I can
Neuralink.
make myself taste lemons at any time.
Wild. I mean, I did it deliberately because you were doing it. But you know where I'm at now? I'm at, if you remember those old cough drops that you used to get at the drugstore. Remember those old ones? Like a long time. Remember they used to say, "Oh wow, Max. See, okay, Max. This is what I'm talking about. My brain just went back to 1982. If you remember, like when chiclets were more popular, and like when they made them like in the little 2-packs, when you could get like just 2 in the pack, back in the day. Like, you remember that, Max? That was in Canada. Remember chiclets?
Yeah.
And okay, well, I'm remembering the flavor of. I'm remembering the flavor of a different candy from back then. I forget what candy.
They had a chiclet-like candy or gum that was like had orange and different colors with different flavors.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they had the zebra gum and the coins, little coin.
Remember
there was Dentine, the Hubba Bubba. I remember Dentine, like the Dentines, and like Trident, Hubba Bubba, Bubblicious.
Yeah, I'm tasting
Bubblicious. It was Hubba Bubba.
Like the double bubble. Always is the double bubble, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I got that smell.
Yes, that smell, man. That smell.
Bubblegum smell.
Yes. Oh, there's weed. That smell now, Max. Weed. Is that where you tasted it last too? In the weed? I tasted that bubblegum taste in the weed, man.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. There was a bubblegum. I think do I have any more? No. But I had it like a couple months ago. But yeah, it was bubblegum. And oh boy. I think it might have been what was it? A permanent marker? No, a permanent marker. Oh, it's telling me it's permanent marker. You know what I mean? Like, and I like, but my brain does that though, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like if you're like with Morgan, how come you're not thinking it's anything else? Because my brain only said the one, right? And it will not give me another answer, and it's literally blocked.
Right.
Like, and people are like, wait, so you can increase the feed of information into like like a singular wire, a copper wire in your head, like proverbially, and then make it like squish out more information? Yeah. Like I can force my IQ. Yeah.
We've got to pass.
It's called paying attention, like we all do. It's called paying attention to a subject, right? It's like if I focus on the subject, I'll have an answer for you. If I don't, I probably won't. Maybe. And lately, my brain's been coming up with stuff on its own. It's been going back to like 1982, 1983, and grabbing up old factory bulb stuff. Because I think there's been a connection in my mind. You know what I mean? That's like that's. I know there was like block before, but you know what I'm saying? They went like the brain's always making different connections, and something's happened lately that's obviously opened up a connection and stimulating those areas again. And I'm not sure if it's not the timeline doing its thing. You know how it does a thing every like 25, 30 years, or you know what I mean? Like it goes around. I feel as if it's that coming around again.
Oh yeah, you could have your Saturn return happening.
Okay, there we are. Like I'll take it. Yeah.
Yeah, every 20 years you have a Saturn return in your life. So wherever Saturn was when you were born, or at the time it came into prevalence in your chart or something, Paula knows much more about it than I do.
Now I'm hearing the song "Coming Around Again."
Hi, Alfred. Good to see you again.
No, they get stuck in your head.
Oh, something else has been going on. Finding out about every single solitary artist. Not like as if they're not knowing, oh, I thought they were all embodiment of Jesus Christ. No, but I mean, finding out like every single artist, how, with whatever they were like at the time, like when you were watching them and whatever they were doing while we were like, their life, oh, I want to be that. Not my, you know what I mean? Like, but while people were idolizing them and everything and thinking, oh, they're just partying, oh, they're just doing this and that. it always turns out that there was some big, huge thing getting like, but before their hits even came out, they had to get screwed by the company first. And you find out that, no matter who they were, no matter how much you thought, oh, they had a great this, because they would have been smiling and happy when we saw them whenever, because they're being portrayed as a product. But now when we're finding out, okay, well, actually, it was a really bad situation. I was getting screwed as bad as you can get screwed for for however long, and it's like, did anybody just go into it going like where it was like, like nobody, like even like Shania Twain, even though it's like, oh, is this a horror? And then you find out, oh, the pain of this and that. And
my wife knew the cousin of Corey Hart, and he said, no, I ain't doing that to become famous. Just ain't doing it.
Yeah.
And you can imagine what he was being asked to do.
Oh, yeah.
I'll leave that to your imagination.
Like,
what y'all think about Bryan Adams?
You find out that's what it is, right? And they're all super prostitutes, man.
Oh, yeah.
And it makes sense. It makes sense. And they say, oh, no. It's like, what are you talking about? They're an actor. They get paid to do acts. Like,
another thing that I recently just with YouTube have come across, but I never even imagined, like, being here in America and having MTV. I figured that was every band that was on MTV. I thought that was all there was, right?
Yes.
But no, Canada and Australia are two places that almost had they have so many bands, and they had their whole scene that I'd never fucking even heard of until recently. But there was a lot of it's almost like the same thing in every country.
Exactly. It was a blackout, so you'd buy this music here that we want you to purchase.
And Canada,
stay in your lane.
Canada had a thing where you could get money from the government as long as you somehow, I don't know if you had to record in Canada or just by being a Canadian artist. I heard Skinny Puppy talk about that. That's how they got.
Yeah, they did a lot of grants for music. And
I have the forms.
That was a big thing back in the 70s.
I remember filing for them before I filed for welfare or anything. I went and called Much Music with the forms, right? To apply for the grants you're talking about. I even had the thing filled out with the company where I was going to get the camera and everything, because the thing was, that's an avenue you could go down in Canada as an artist. Yes. 100%. I started filing for them when I was 18. I didn't end up doing them, because I ended up doing something else, right? But at the time, yes, I have the forms. I mailed them to Much Music.
They started that back when when Canada actually owned the banks and utilities, and we made money.
It started with
so
Canada.
they were able to,
a bunch of things.
take all that money and put it into the arts and stuff. And
yes, it's legislated. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Max, it was during that period where that money went into the art. Yeah, and they opened that thing, the same thing they did for a copyright thing. They opened it with, and 30% has to be Canadian content on our radios and our airwaves.
Yeah, there was a big push in the 70s to really bolster Canada as an independent nation, and the music and our arts and all that. And the government really did put a lot of money into it. And we got a lot out of it.
Canada,
a lot came out of Canada.
They're paying for that.
Yeah.
You remember Report Canada? No, she was attractive. I remember as a child. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, you remember that? Another 1982 memory, Max.
Yeah.
And without even noticing it. Also,
remember Hinterland? Who's Who?
Like as if it's yesterday? Yes.
Remember Hinterland? Who's Who?
Everything. Pardon?
Hinterland, Who's Who? The nature videos and stuff that they used to put out. They used to put out all kinds of public service notices, how to take care of yourself.
I'm hearing
they did so much.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, always that whistle would come in, right? That whistle. And then you'd see the Canadian, or it could also be Northern California, or it could be, but yeah, man. The blah 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 eagle crosses the blah blah blah. Oh yeah, man. And
that sounds like a creepy horror movie.
It was a little bit. It wasn't
not ominous. No, it would come in like a lonely in the north. You would feel the cold in your bones because
Yeah.
they pick the music to match
The
the
serial
loneliness
killer
and the
is
expanse of the
whistling for you.
Canadian whateverness.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yeah, like imagine if you're doing a caribou or something like that, or you know what I mean, like whatever it is. You know what I mean? In
Caribou.
Canada, you're gonna get the in the lone blah 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 blah, the Canadian blah 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 blah. And you, like whether you're a wolf, whether you're a bear, you know, at that time when you got to go out and get your cubs that first meal. Oh my goodness! Can you imagine for the mama? Huh. So you got to get music to go with it. There it is, Max did it. Max.
There was a time when beaver lodges like this
Oh,
one
you did.
and
There
the
was
busy
a
beaver
oh, you did
pilgrim
it.
had
You
almost
did it.
disappeared from Canada because of overtrapping.
How did
But
you
the
pick it
beaver,
so
who will
perfect?
always be associated with
Because
Canada's
Morgan, they
early
all do
days,
that.
has been
That's
reintroduced into many areas, and it's made a successful comeback.
Wow.
The beaver builds dams because he has to store his winter's food in water deep enough not to freeze. With all the wood cutting that the beaver has to do, it's
Music for
fortunate
this is
that his
great.
incisor teeth
Oh, you
never
just
stop
want
growing.
to roll up a doobie. Look at the little guy. Working hard. He's Canadian, you know.
He holds all the Canadian values. Yeah.
Yeah. You know why he's got such a big tail? Not for
For a
himself.
more complete story of the beaver, why not contact the Canadian Wildlife Service in Ottawa?
Hey, you remember Captain Canada?
Yeah. Well, I remember that Report Canada.
There was a time when beaver...
Yeah, they even put out like cartoons, Captain Canada, to, you know, give you a positive message and all that. It was great.
Yeah, I remember that they I've worked for the National Film Board of Canada back in 1999. We did Letters to a Street Child. You know, it was a movie, right? You know, back, you know, to promote obviously going to a shelter and then getting, you know, hopefully in touch with your family again if you're run away. But yeah.
All right. Well, it's 1:30, I think, and we've been on for 4 hours. I think I should shut it down now.
Brian, it's been great. I know.
Interland Who's Who is a great way to end it.
That was great. You had everything, even though I didn't know how to do it, right? It's like with that poor example, let me pull out exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. It's like, people would laugh, right? Anywhere else. But when you're from Canada, it's small enough that people are like, oh, no, I know exactly what he's talking about.
Oh, yeah. That's part of my child, big part of my childhood, you know?
It's like, here it is, right there. It's like, bang. That's neat.
But yeah,
that's what I like.
Yeah, they don't make things like that anymore. They don't.
No,
you know?
no, they don't. They don't.
Of course not. No.
The public service announcements now are just yelling in your face or shaking their junk at you. You know?
Like that caused a mood almost immediately. Like that's something that if you weren't ready for it, somebody would grab the controller and turn that channel because that's going to calm you down. Like, you know what I mean? Let's say you're angry at your dad or something, real mad. You know what I mean? You see that nice little beaver there and you might be like, damn you, beaver. Yeah, I'm angry and I plan on staying angry. This is releasing a lot of dopamine.
All right, guys. Much love to you all. Thanks for coming up. Much appreciated you all. This is great conversation. I hope we can do this again.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Oh, yes.
Good time.
All right. I'm going to be holding I was going to see about holding a class tomorrow for remote viewing.
Okay.
So we'll see if that happens probably in the afternoon. All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye, guys.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.
Peace.